At Celtic Park. It's time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Celtic against Atletico Madrid in the group stage of the Champions League. The players are in the tunnel, they're about to come out. Let's get to our commentary team. Pat Bonner, James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, the scene is set here in Glasgow's East End, the smoke billowing out from the away section off to our right. The Atletico Madrid fans are here in terrific numbers. And save for the seats that are cordoned off for security reasons, there's barely any space to be had anywhere else in this gigantic arena here. But it's got to must-win time for Celtic. 2 games in, 2 defeats to Feyenoord and Lazio. A victory for the Dutch champions against the Italians this evening. 3-1 it finished into Kuip in Rotterdam, as the German referee Felix Zweier leads the 2 sets of players out down below us. Celtic have lost 8 of their last 9 home matches in the group stage of the Champions League. That needs to change when you think of some of the memorable evenings here in this competition back in the early 2000s. They need something magical to happen this evening, and they need something magical to happen against one of the best club sides in Europe over the last decade. Atletico de Madrid have been magnificent. 2 La Ligas, 2 Europa Leagues, 2 Super Cups, 2 Champions League finals. They want to win this competition. Celtic need 3 points, big time. You see now it feels like a special night. Matchday 3 in this section. Atletico visiting Celtic. It is a fixture that still angers many within the Celtic support, whether you were here in 1974 in that European Cup semi-final first leg, or whether it's been passed down through the generations. The hatred of Atletico Madrid from the Celtic fans after that infamous goalless draw here. No fewer than 6 Atletico players were suspended for the second leg. They targeted Jimmy Johnston in particular, as the remnants of the Lisbon Lions went up against Madrid's second team, if you like, the working class underdogs of the Spanish capital. They've lived in the shadow of Real Madrid for so many years, so many decades, but they've had their own success in recent times, as their skipper Koke comes to the halfway line to exchange handshakes with Callum McGregor. Pennants as well. Atletico unbeaten in the 6 previous clashes. 4 wins for the Spaniards. The other 2 were drawn. And those games in 1974 were followed up in the 85-86 Cup Winners' Cup. Mo Johnston scoring for Celtic in a 1-1 draw away from home, but they lost 2-1 in Glasgow in the most recent meeting in the Europa League in 11-12. Atletico won both group matches, 2-0 at home and 1-0 here. Both sets of players going into a pre-match huddle. The Atletico players is breaking out of that now. Callum McGregor is about to commence the Celtic one, which always goes down well with the home fans. One last roar ahead of kick-off. The Celtic team tonight: Joe Hart in goal, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales and Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatate, Palma and Maida up there with Kyogo. It is the Celtic team that started the 4-1 win in Edinburgh on Sunday at Tynecastle. Atletico, Oblak in goal, Witsel, Savic, Hermoso at the back, Molina, Galan are the wing-backs, Saul, Koke, DePaul across the middle. And what a talented front two of Antoine Griezmann and Alvaro Morata. Both came up against the Scotland national team over the last couple of weeks. Indeed, Morata scored one of his 11 goals this season against the Scots in Seville, and it will be Atletico who are wearing a top tonight, all red with white flashes, that commemorates that game in 74. And they go right to left, kicking off. The German referee getting us underway. Celtic in the green and white hoops, as you would expect. going from left to right in this first half as Axel Witsel gets an early feel of the ball, the former Belgium international, and it's back with Oblak, who launches it forward with the right foot. Atletico on a run of 6 successive victories coming into this one since drawing with Lazio on match day 1. They found their groove, that's for sure, and that includes that 3-1 victory over their city rivals Real in the immediate aftermath of that game at the Stadio Olimpico. Celtic then winning the ball back on the far side, and Taylor rolls it back to Scales, who squares for Carter Vickers. They've certainly started Champions League games well this season, as Johnston's pass towards Maida, O'Reilly evades both and comes through to Oblak, and Paki Bonner, they'll be keen for a fast start tonight as well.
Yeah, of course. Listen, they want to get on the ball, they want to control the game, they want to get their confidence up, every player getting a touch of the ball from that perspective. There's no doubt about it, but they will also want to nullify what Atletico is going to do. I'm just looking at Atletico. They have started with their 3 at the back. They've got Koke sitting in the middle of the pitch, and they're almost playing a 5-3 and a 2 up front with Griezmann and Morata.
Yeah, here's Hatate though for Celtic, playing it forward. It was for Kyogo, but it bounces off Witsel, breaks to Rodrigo de Paul in the centre circle, long with the right foot, cut out by Scales, who takes the safe option and rolls it out wide left for Greg Taylor. 3 of the Atletico starting 11 have a World Cup winners medal. De Paul and Molina from last year's tournament in Qatar, and of course Antoine Griezmann won it with France in Russia in 2018. Scales side footed out to Taylor on the far side, and back to Liam Scales, wanting a good feel of the ball in these early exchanges. Brendan Rodgers down there, arms folded in his technical area. To his right, the ever animated Diego Simeone, the Atletico coach. The flick from Maida, cut out by Witsel, breaks to Kyogo. Witsel pinches it back though, and rolls it back there to the Montenegro international Savic. He goes back to his goalkeeper Oblak. James McFadden, 2.5 in, 0-0.
Yeah, Liam, first of all, what an incredible build-up. The noise around this stadium, it's probably as loud as I've ever heard it.
Yeah, sorry, cut across, Griezmann winning it back, and then it's thumped high over the bar by Nahuel Molina, who, as I mentioned, one of the World Cup winners, actually scored the opener against the Dutch in the quarter-finals of that tournament, which they eventually won on penalties. Just Griezmann just brushing Rio Hatate aside and setting up Molina for the ambitious shot, which goes well over.
Yeah, and Atletico, you know, we spoke about how well they're organised defensively. Morata and Griezmann are almost detached from the rest of the group. They're not in as much of a rush to get back. They're staying high up the pitch, but every single player, bar those two, are getting back as quick as they can in numbers to try and make sure that they aren't counter-attacked. So I think when that happens, Celtic have to be a little bit more patient and not force it as quick.
There's O'Reilly, good build-up by Celtic, wide right of the Atletico box. It's with Kyogo, rolls it to the edge of the area for O'Reilly, stabs it through, Kyogo's in, he scores! What a start for the Scottish champions! And of course it's Kyogo Furuhashi that sends this place wild with the delight! A fabulous goal from Celtic, the build-up was exquisite, and Kyogo Furuhashi saw the whites of Jan Oblak's eyes and just dinked it into the far corner of the net. It is Celtic 1, Atletico Madrid 0.
Oh, what a start, and I'll tell you what, that is a sensational goal. Sensational. The ball into Matt O'Reilly on the edge of the box from Kyogo. He's got his head up the whole time, and he plays it first time. Splits every single Atletico Madrid player. Kyogo goes again. It must be the longest 1-2 in history. It's an incredible pass. Perfect weight for Kyogo to run onto, and he shows that composure. We spoke about it before the game. When Celtic get an opportunity, they have to take it, and boy did they take it. An unbelievable goal.
I agree. Listen, it was magnificent. The build-up to it comes from the back up to Maeda, who heads it into Kyogo initially, and then the break out on the right-hand side. But Kyogo obviously starting the right-hand side in that move, but knows that he wants to get into the box. But the pick out from Matt O'Reilly and the pass was magnificent. First touch after he receives the pass into the path of Kyogo, and then the brilliant finish. Brilliant start for Celtic.
That coming after just 4 minutes. Kyogo with the goal. He gave them the lead against Lazio last time out, but here come Atletico, but that's a poor effort from distance from Saul, which goes well wide of the right-hand post.
And it's a chance. And that is the warning. Celtic might have a problem when Tati's down.
Yeah, he's on the deck, he's sitting middle of the pitch, and they're already readying somebody on the bench, so Celtic are going to be forced into an early change here. 5.5 in, Rio Hatate is going to come off. It looks like Paulo Bernardo is going to be his replacement.
Wow, that's a big blow for Celtic, I've got to say. Hatate, it looks like he's obviously either nicked the hamstring or something, because I didn't see any tackle. I didn't see, he's just gone down and sat down on the pitch in the middle, and I think he'll have to go off if he's feeling something like that so early in the game. But Bernardo now coming in, what a night for him, and will he fit into the team in the same way that Hatate, because he'll play in that number 10. Will he have the defensive qualities again now that Celtic are almost one up in this game? Will he fit in to that part of the game, James?
That's a huge blow. You know, Rio Hatate, we spoke about before the game, and how he's hitting top form, and it is a massive blow. But as you said, what an opportunity for Paulo Bernardo. Sitting when these games happen and you're on the bench and you feel the noise, you hear the noise, the atmosphere, you get the goal in front, you're just desperate to get involved. Maybe not this quick, because what a tempo it is for him to go in, but it's a huge opportunity for Paulo Bernardo.
But that's what he's come here for, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's signed, he's coming to the club, and I'm sure they sold the Champions League to him for him to come here. Now he has to perform. That's the critical factor, and you have to be ready to come on that pitch.
This is a guy who's played almost 30 times for the Benfica first team. You won't be phased, but that's another blow, not just for Celtic, but for Rio Hatate personally. Hasn't had his injury problems to seek as Griezmann comes forward for Atletico. Right-hand side, level with the D. It is not forward Saul to De Paul, to Griezmann, wide right, back to De Paul at the right angle of the box. Misunderstanding with Antoine Griezmann, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Celtic. 7 in, and if you're just joining us, Kyogo Furuhashi slotting home his 7th goal of the season to give Celtic a sensational lead here against Atletico. It's a lead they threw away against Lazio last time out. They've got to learn from that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting now to see what Atletico do. Will they come and almost go at Celtic to get this goal back early? They've got lots of time in this game, of course, as we know. But I think the impression I get is that they will go after Celtic a little bit.
Yeah, I think they will. I think that, you know, just before Hatate had to come off, there was a big chance for Atletico. Saul had picked the ball up and just in the inside left channel, and he opts for the shot, but Griezmann had made that run just outside of Liam Scales, and if he gets his head up and plays it to him, he's gone into the box. Griezmann, you know, was remonstrating with Saul when he takes the shot, but it was the pass from defence straight into midfield attacking area that beat the whole Celtic midfield, and that's something they're going to have to be careful of, because if Atletico had gone in front, they'd sit back and defend. If it was 0-0, they'd sit and they'd be patient, but I think they'll come out now.
Yeah, you don't want to go behind to Atletico, that's for sure. It's one of the most difficult prospects in European football, is coming from behind against this team. It is Atletico on the ball with Griezmann, rolling it out to the right-hand side for Molina. Back to his compatriot, De Paul, who finds Witsel. No longer part of the Belgian national setup. It's rolled back the way to Savic, forward onto the halfway line. De Paul, first time to Koke, to De Paul, first time out this left-hand side for Javier Galán, coming forward on the left-hand side, cross into the Celtic box, headed away by Carter Vickers. Maida, now O'Reilly, and Bernardo out to the left-hand side. It's picked up here by Palma. A big switch looking for Daizen Maida, who does manage to beat Galán in the jump, but it was out of play off the Japanese's head, and out for an Atletico throw-in on this near side. That might be a place on an area of the Atletico team to target Javier Galán. He's far from the first choice in that position at the club. It's his first start of the season, so you want to be getting stuck into him if you can.
Well, go back to the goal. You know, Kyogo leaves him for dead because he runs inside him, and he switched. I don't know if he switched off, but I think maybe Kyogo, just with his pace and his awareness, got into a great position.
Here come Atletico with Griezmann. He goes down, he's wanting a free kick, he's not getting it. Slaps the Celtic Park pitch in frustration. Picked up by Taylor wide in the left, and now it's with McGregor. Celtic leading 1-0, about to tick on to the 10-minute mark.
Liam, just on that point, you know, about trying to exploit that left-hand side of Atletico, as the ball is worked out to the left-hand side, Greg Taylor's made a brilliant run in the overlap, and it's an easier pass, but it was a it was as if, right, we need to get it to that side. Maybe that is the instruction. Can you get Maida in behind? Can you go and test Gallan because he's not used to playing and he's not the, you know, the first choice player? It might be that is the tactic for Celtic.
Interested spectator in the director's box to our left is the former Celtic striker Georgios Samaras, who's watching this evening. Remember watching him scoring the winner late on in one of Celtic's 2 away victories in the Champions League, when he did so in the Luzhniki in Moscow against Spartak back in 2012. What was a fabulous campaign. Well, Celtic beating Barcelona here in that group as well. They've only registered 2 home wins though in the Champions League since that incredible night, which is incredible in itself. Maida's under pressure from Gallan on this near side. He's lost it cheaply. Murata to Koke. Back to Murata. Leaves it. Gallan drives it across, and it comes right over the 6-yard line and breaks kindly for Greg Taylor. 11 in. Celtic 1, Atletico 0. Maida needs to be more careful than that.
He does, and you know, he gave the ball away the weekend also, and Hart scored right in a bad area. So just tidy that a little bit of his game up. The other part of it will take care of itself. Going back to Samaras, by the way, he was the ideal player to take off the bench for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm not sure. 90, not the 90, not the 90.
Came up with some big moments for Celtic though, didn't he, in his career? Wasn't always a fan's favourite, but
he won them roundly.
He did.
I think it was one of them.
The European goals were the ones that kind of won them over.
I think I'm one to talk, but a frustrating player at times, but you know, in full flow, his work rate, you know, that threat that he had, willing runner, and also, as you say, some big goals throughout his Celtic career. I think that, you know, in the end, they won the fans round.
Johnston to Maida. Gallan all over him, but Maida stood up to it. He goes down, wins the free kick as well. That's better from Dyson. Maida, that's about midway inside the Celtic half. On this near side, Maida knows what it feels like to come out on top against a side featuring Alvaro Morata, whose Japan team beat Spain. Both those players started the game. Maida, of course, scored in the match. As Taylor rolls it back into his own half. It's Scales.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just Callum McGregor, he was getting the freedom of that position at number almost 6 position, whatever you want to call it, in front of the back 4. But I see Koke has just pushed onto him now, just to try to nullify him a little bit. That'll create a bit of space maybe for Kyogo and Matt O'Reilly in front of the back 3.
Liam Scales forward to Taylor on the left. Low ball infield. Here's Bernardo. Back to Taylor. Palma's up the left-hand touchline. Instead it's Bernardo back to Scales. And
I think
over
that's
to
where the space is. Sorry, Liam. The space is now the fullbacks for Celtic, because Cam McGregor's marked by a midfielder. It means the other 2 are having to get out as well.
There's Johnston wide in the right. Poor ball though from Johnston. That's a letdown, because it was good work by Maida. He left it for Johnston on the right, and it was begging for him to whip the right boot round the ball there. He didn't get any real pace or power on it, and it's an easy take for All Black at his near post. It's 1-0 though to Celtic, 13.5 on the clock.
Yeah, just going back to that point James is making, you know, it's interesting because there'll always be a free player. There'll always be a free player, and can Celtic sort of almost find that free player, whether it's Johnson, whether it's McGregor, whether it's Greg Taylor at times.
Chip ball Taylor looking for Palma down the left, and does enough to spook Savic. He puts it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag over there, and just in front of the safe standing section. It's taken quickly by Taylor to Bernardo, back to Taylor, but he couldn't get him on the follow-up, and then Bernardo slides in, and Griezmann right in front of the German referee, who didn't like the challenge. It's a free kick only at this point, and it looked like one of those ones where his knee was bent there, James, as he went in to make the challenge. You've got to be so careful.
Yeah, he's overrun the ball and he's lunging in. He slides in. The ball's quite a bit away from him. I mean, I must admit, I thought could potentially be a red card. The referees just had a word with him, so maybe it looked a lot worse from here than what it did to where the referee was about 5 or 6 yards away from it.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to Odin Holmes' red card in Decout on Matchday 1. You know, it wasn't too dissimilar, that one. Obviously not enough contact to warrant a card, though. And Bernardo will be relieved about that. His manager will be, as DePaul picks up for Atletico in the midfield. Fabulous work. He is a magnificent midfield player as he rolls it with the right foot to the left-hand side for Gallan. Back in field for De Paul. Lovely ball. Griezmann with a great run, left-hand side of the box. Shoots, saved by Hart, behind from the first corner for Atletico this evening. In fact, of the match. And that's just in a flash, and it all began with Rodrigo De Paul in the midfield, and Griezmann made a really intelligent run across the back of the defenders, left-hand side of the box, really tight angle, but he's at least forced the corner.
Yeah, but it was an early run, you know, right across to almost a line. Nobody went with him, nobody tracked him, and he got in, and it was a nice simple pass from De Paul down in the channel.
Such a clever player is Griezmann, as Atletico prepare for this corner. De Paul over it. Huge group of players inside the 6-yard box in front of Joe Hart right now. The ref's just keeping his eye on what's going on in there. Normally, if there's a decision to be made by the ref in a situation like this, it goes to the defensive team. De Paul with a short corner to Griezmann. Wins another one off McGregor. Came to him and knocks it behind.
Yeah, this is very much an Atletico Madrid type of setup here. Everybody in and top of the goalkeeper. They're just checking out now. A couple of Witzels just come out.
Interestingly, this is an outswinger, and they've got everyone on top of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Griezmann is going to take it this time. It's De Paul who took the other one. Celtic protecting the lead in from Griezmann. It comes off the head of Scales. He does brilliantly there on the 6-yard line. More height than distance. Helped on its way by McGregor, though. Maida gives chase down this near side. He's done brilliantly. Wins it off Koke. Driving down the right-hand side. Might fancy this, Maida. Trying to get in behind the defender. He goes down. The Celtic fans howl for a free kick. It's not coming. And it's the Atletico skipper, Koke, comes away with it. It just looked as though he was going to get in behind Molina, who was the covering defender for Atletico. Celtic claimed that he fouled Maida, who makes the block again on this near side and out for a throw-in. Just listen to this place. 17 in, Celtic 1, Atletico Madrid 0.
And they've given a throw-in away.
I know, but the reaction because of the fight of Maeda, you know, it's always about fancy footwork and great play and passing. It's about that effort and that resilience from Maeda, and the fans reacted to that brilliantly.
Celtic on the ball. Bernardo flashing it out to Johnston inside the Atletico half. Out wide right for Maida. Steps in field under pressure. He was down on this near side from Javier Galan. Back to Scales, who shifts it to the left for Taylor. And back to Liam Scales, who utilises his goalkeeper. And Hart round about the penalty spot in his own box, finds McGregor. Short ball back to Hart, then to his left for Scales, out to the left-hand touchline for Taylor, and up the line to Luis Palma. Back to Bernardo, and then to Taylor. Dink ball forward, looking for McGregor, gets to the head of Koke, rolls it to Palma, driving forward down the left. What a build-up this is by Celtic, which Palma got up his sleeve here. Well, not much, because he's unfortunately run into Savic. He then goes down, but the referee gives the free kick Atletico's way. Over on that far side, Celtic 1, Atletico 0.
It's tremendous play from Celtic. Under real pressure from Atletico Madrid. They maintain their composure, they knock it back to Scales, out to Taylor, into McGregor, and then McGregor's the one that makes that advanced run. He's picked out, and the ball in behind for Palma. It's something that he does quite a lot, is he loves to come back on his right foot, and when there's bodies in and around you, that's great, because you're making the defender think. But he needs to keep going there. Either needs to knock out his feet, cross it with his left, or he's got Matt O'Reilly in support of him at the edge of the box, just get his head up and pick him out. But it was tremendous play under pressure from Celtic.
You know, he hesitated a little bit because he was desperate for somebody to make a run almost across that front post area. Nobody was making, that's why he checked.
Molina to Griezmann, right-hand side of the centre circle in the Celtic half. Here's De Paul. De Paul with the short sleeves and the gloves on here against the crisp autumnal evening in Glasgow. Comes back to Hermoso, who squares it to Savic, midway inside his own half. Moving forward, just stepping away from Palma. It's a good run by Savic. Out to the right it goes to Molina, now with De Paul. Then to the centre circle for Witsel. Witsel, low ball, and Celtic fans with the shrill whistles and the boos, but it's Atletico with Haaland on this near side. Infield to Witsel, now with Koke. The one-club man, right-footed, out to the left. Opportunity to cross perhaps for Haaland here. Playing it towards Saul, who can't quite keep it in play. A bit too much on the pass, and it goes behind for a Celtic goal kick. The Scottish champions leading the Spanish Giants by 1-0 here as we approach the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and so far I think Celtic have probably been the better team on the ball. That was a little bit of of play from Atletico Madrid there, where they worked the ball and the centre half stepping out.
It's great play by O'Reilly there as well. McGregor, now Bernardo, some fabulous midfield players on show tonight. Matt O'Reilly is very much one of them. Taylor out to Palma wide on the left-hand side, infield to McGregor. McGregor then squares it to Johnston to his right. Johnston level with the edge of the D for Maida. Maida stepping in field. Looks like he's been fouled there. There was a handball on the edge of the box too. Two really decent appeals for a Celtic free kick on the edge of the Atletico penalty area there, and neither referee's VAR was interested in giving.
No, just the ball went out to Palma again. I just hope he hasn't lost his confidence a little bit in that last time. I would want to see him take on that fullback or wing back, you could say. He's got the backup from Greg Taylor, of course, but take him on in that final third of the pitch.
Yeah, I think that he just likes to come back on that right, and you see it at the weekend, either pick a pass, get a cross, get a shot away. But just before what you were speaking about, Liam, every time Maida gets the ball, Haaland is so tight to him that it looks like, you know, if he can just maybe stop it and move it, he will get those fouls, but the referee is letting him away with it at the minute.
Here's DePaul, forward to Griezmann, out to the right-hand side of the Celtic box. Opportunity, Molina's low ball in is booted into the north stand over on the far side by O'Reilly. Anywhere will do in that case.
Yeah, and that's Griezmann just dropping off into a little bit of space, getting the ball and then being able to pick a pass. He is very, very dangerous. It's very difficult for a centre-half to step out there with him. It's got to be a midfielder, and the communication between centre-half and the midfielder has got to be bang on to deal with him.
Good luck hearing anything in here.
There's an argument to say that Feyenoord's victory over Lazio earlier makes this even more of a must-win for Celtic. As Haaland plays it in field to Koke. Back to Hermoso, to Koke on the halfway line. And a wriggle away from Kyogo. Finds Savic, who finds Witsel. Continuing to play as one of the back three for Atletico just now. Their midfielder, of course, out to Haaland. The near side steps away from Johnston to the edge of the penalty area, looking to work the 1-2. Almost got it back from Saul. And it's won back by Johnston down by his own byline, forced out wide, and he wins the throw-in, which is a real result of Javi Haaland. And that's about level with the Celtic penalty spot. Johnston's taken it quickly to O'Reilly, and then back to Johnston, who's under pressure from Saul. May come off his hand there. Atletico have pinched it back. Here's Koke. I know Celtic like to keep things going and get things moving quickly from set plate pieces, but it might not be the night for that tonight, particularly given they have a lead here. Into the second quarter we go. Celtic 1-0 up. Here's DePaul, though. It's a lovely ball. There's a man down. Atletico have a penalty. The German referee points straight to the spot. Once again, the architect of the problem for Celtic was Rodrigo DePaul. The little ball into the penalty area. Molina tripped. Penalty Atletico.
That's a great pass. Great pass. DePaul makes a run outside. Greg Taylor, who turns in the way, and then DePaul's on his right shoulder. He can't see where he is. He goes to take the ball. We're a distance away. We can't see whether he catches him or not. But DePaul just nicks in. Obviously, this will be checked. But it's the run, the way to pass, allied with the fact that Greg Taylor probably turns the wrong way, and then he goes on his blind side. And when you take the swing at the ball, you're taking a huge chance.
Yeah, he needs Palma to help him also. You know, he was caught almost with whether I'll go to the wide player, or will I watch that space on the inside, and he gets caught probably in two minds because Palma allowed the ball down the outside of him too easily.
The referee's just taking advisement from his VAR just now, but Antoine Griezmann has the ball at his feet. He's heading towards the 250 goal mark for the club. Joe Hart stands in the middle of his goal frame. Penalty's been awarded. It's been survived the VAR check. The Celtic fans doing their best to put off Griezmann. Big moment coming up here in the 25th minute. Griezmann left-footed. He comes off the post, but he scores on the rebound. Hart might have got a touch in the initial effort, but Griezmann was there on the follow-up to roll it into the reverse corner and wipe out the Celtic advantage. It is Celtic 1, Atletico Madrid 1, and it's the French international Antoine Griezmann who scores it.
Yeah, I think Joe Hart did get a good hand on it.
Must have.
He's so unlucky because it comes off the post. When you get a hand to it, you know, deflected round the post or whatever, but it comes off the post and it comes straight back towards Griezmann, who who are very quick to put the ball in the back of the net to make it one each.
It's so unlucky for Joe Hart, because he reads it. He does get a good touch because there's a good bit of pace on it, and as you say, how's your luck? Straight back at you for Griezmann, and he's never going to miss an open goal from there. But so unlucky for Joe Hart. He just felt that, you know, that touch, and as you say, on another night it goes round the post. I had the feeling just before the game, the way that the fans, the crowd, the noise were making, the belief that Celtic started, that it was just going to be one of those nights. Even, you know, with Griezmann, we know how good he is, that Joe Hart could keep it out. So bit of misfortune for Celtic there, but still well in this game, still plenty to play for. I'm sure they won't let that affect them.
Palma tripped at the left angle of the box. At least that's what he thought, it's what the Celtic fans thought, and the referee once again irks the home fans and says no free kick, waving Palma to his feet. Here's Johnston for Celtic. It's all about the reaction from the Scottish champions now. Their lead has gone, but at 1-1, this game's still there, you know, for them.
Atletico have not really been in Celtic's half too often, but you see the quality when they are in their half. You know, you've seen Griezmann get into really good positions, and that obviously that goal from De Paul, you know, his quality on the ball.
O'Reilly fouled. Finally, the referee says that is a Celtic free kick. Callum McGregor looked as though he was trying to take it quickly, but this might be an opportunity to load the Atletico box. It's a couple of yards from the near side touchline on the main stand side. The Celtic right, level with the edge of the D of the Atletico penalty area. Yeah, I mean, it was all about the pass from De Paul, wasn't it, for the penalty? Molina chopped down, Griezmann scores on the rebound after Hart made the save. And an argument to say Rodrigo De Paul's been the best player on the pitch so far in the match, 27 in, and he was behind the moment that has squared this Champions League tie on Matchday 3 in the group. Taken short by Palma to O'Reilly. Back out wide right to Palma, gets the cross in, but it's an easy take for Jan Oblak in his 6-yard area from the cross. Just put his big hands up into the air and plucks it out of the sky, and it stays Celtic 1, Atletico 1.
Yeah, if you're going to work that short free kick, they've got to get an end product. That was a poor cross from Palma. You know, a player of his quality with his right foot should be able to, he puts it straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
From that position, you know what I'm going to say, you use Palma as a decoy. If you're Matt O'Reilly, step inside.
Chance, lovely ball in behind, left hand side of the box. Maida across, missed by Witsel, breaks to Palma, winds up the shot and scores! Well, that's about blowing the roof off here at Celtic Park. Luis Palma with a special moment for Celtic. Right hand side of the box from Maida's cross. Witsel's diving header made no contact, and it broke to Palma, who leathers it past a world-class goalkeeper in Jan Oblak into the far corner, and Celtic have their lead back. They have their Champions League back. It is Celtic 2, Atletico 1.
Well, listen, there was a run from Maida, the pass in behind that defence, decent ball across, but Palma, who was sitting on his right-hand side, and we did say that he should have put a good cross in, but what a finish this time, across the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper was sort of almost blinded by the two centre-halves, or the two defenders that was in front of him, and he didn't even dive for the ball because he struck it so well, and off the post, across the goalkeeper. Textbook finish.
Oh, there's a little net just before it goes towards the goal off of Hermoso, but it's such a clean strike, really well worked. Palma, as you say, he's on this side after the attempt at the short free kick, but when he gets into that position, only one thought in his mind: get a good touch, get a good connection, back across goal. I don't know if Oblak would have saved it anyway, but it takes the slightest of nicks, and it's in off the post. It's a brilliant goal again.
Here they come again. Here comes Maida again. Can't really control it as he would have liked. He trips, but he's managed to find Johnson's support. Right-hand side of the box, pulls it back. Cleared by Koke. Morata picks up. He's barely been in the game, the big Spain international. Captains his country. He's gone down. He's claiming he's hurt. And the referee goes to his pocket and books Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Oh, it's a pity actually, but I think it's a decent foul, to be honest. That's what I was talking about. Kill the game. Don't let them counter-attack you when you've got your full back out of position and so on. I think it's the first tackle really on him. You know, to get booked for that is, I think Morata's overplaying it, to be perfectly honest.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because practically, what, 20 yards from the Atletico goal, he's not stopping an attack. Yeah, he was a bit, you know, strong in the challenge, but to give him a yellow card there, I think that's crazy.
What we're hearing, and we don't have monitors here, folks, unfortunately, but from what we're hearing is Cameron Carter-Vickers has stood in Morata's ankle, so that's probably what's drawn the yellow card. So Atletico come forward, Carter-Vickers gets there and rolls it out to Johnston on the near side. Now, can Celtic hold on to this lead? Johnston towards Maida, can they extend it? Yeah, it's been rolled down this near side to Maida, cut out though.
I know what James is thinking here. He says he wants to build in this lead.
Absolutely. What are they going to do? Sit back and invite trouble?
Well, you've got the wind behind you. You've got this noise behind you. Try and make hay while you can.
And even, you know, we're speaking about how
get in at half time, James. 2-1 up, and you're in a really good position.
They're in a brilliant position, but Celtic have shown that they're better attacking than they are sitting back.
I think we could make a really good management team. You attacking, me defending.
Too much arguing there, Packy.
Morata with a challenge at Carter-Vickers. No free kick. Now it's Bernardo out to Taylor on the left. To Palma. What a finish from Luis Palma. It really was. He's rasped it into that far corner, the Honduran. His third Celtic goal. And what an important one it could be for his side. Here come the green and white hoops again. Kyogo goes down. No free kick again. The referee's actually infuriating the Celtic fans. He's actually decided to go back and award the free kick after a good few seconds had elapsed.
It's amazing. It was a free kick all day long.
Why is he taking so long to award it?
I've no idea, because there was no advantage. It went through to Haaland. It didn't go to a Celtic player. It's bizarre. You know, you just look at the yellow card for Cameron Carter-Vickers for his first challenge, really.
32 on the clock, 2-1 Celtic. Bernardo gives it away, picked up by Saul. Now it's with Griezmann, who rolls it back the way. Savic to Witsel at the edge of his penalty area, back to his goalkeeper. Maida chasing it down. He manages to flash it out to Hermoso on this near side. Short ball to Koke, to Witsel, back to Hermoso, forward to Koke. Almost wanted too long on it, but Bernardo couldn't quite pinch it off him. He's found Saul, manages to find DePaul, somehow went through 2 or 3 Celtic players. Here's Griezmann, Molina roaring up to his right hand side in space, pulls it back and then cleared by Johnston up into the air. It's still in play. Molina trying to get onto the bouncing ball on the far side. Taylor trying to get between he and the ball. Celtic get it half away.
Yeah, listen, it was a great counter-attack, and you can see what Griezmann was doing, just sitting away out in space on his own, waiting for that ball after 2 or 3 passes to come to him, and then he comes alive. But that's where he goes. He'll move into those spaces and wait for his teammates to do all the dirty work, and he then is a creative player.
6 wins in succession for Atletico Madrid since the draw at Lazio on match day 1. They've scored at least twice in all 6 of those games, including a 3-1 win over Real Madrid. They're great rivals and neighbours, and here they come with Haaland down the left-hand side, taking on Johnston into the box, rolls it across. Griezmann's efforts blocked, look goal-bound. Pings out to the left-hand side of the box and up and under into the area, and Maida dumps it away. Rodrigo de Paul is claiming handball against Celtic inside the box there. And the referee is telling de Paul to get out of his face, and he flashes the yellow card at the Argentinian World Cup winner. And the ball was still in play there, so I don't know what he does now.
I think he pointed for a foul, didn't he?
Well, again, it's belatedly. Yeah, he has eventually.
Yeah, I think because of the Paul arguing. Pretty sure that's why he's given.
That's why he's given it. Yeah. He's still at it, de Paul. His arms outstretched. He's claiming there was a handball by a Celtic player from that up and under cross from the left-hand side.
Yeah.
If there is, we'll know about it.
Yeah,
it's amazing that players get themselves booked in the age of the video assistant. Why on earth would you talk yourself into a yellow card? No penalty, by the way.
I would still do it.
True.
I have to say.
You were a firebrand, though, Paddy.
You're caught up in the emotion. You're desperate for him to go and check the monitor. You don't know at that point.
Here's Taylor for Celtic, dig ball to the edge of the box, couldn't quite find O'Reilly, stabbed away by Haaland, picked up here by Griezmann, forward to Morata, goes down, claims he was fouled by Scales, this time he bounces straight back up. Here's Kyogo, There's another goal in this for Celtic if they want one, you know. It's O'Reilly, right-hand side of the box. Johnston across, breaks back to O'Reilly. Oblak saves. The shot down into the ground, zipped back up, and Oblak threw himself to his left. And out it goes for a Celtic throw-in, won by Johnston. Takes it quickly, couldn't find O'Reilly though, and Morata's able to dig it out.
This is when Celtic just need to settle it down a little bit.
Come on, Packy, go for the third.
They're reacting to the crowd and that sort of, absolutely, but they've got to use their head. Not
you just get back in your goal, Packy, all right? You just watch everybody else do it.
10 minutes left in this first half of the 45.
exciting,
It has flown by.
But I think, you know,
Celtic 2-1 up.
I'm the other side where I'm thinking, capitalise on it. Keep that crowd, as they're not going anywhere anyway, but use it in a positive. Can you put can you get in behind? Can you get on the end of one of those crosses? Because they've been in some right good areas, particularly down the right-hand side. If they can pick a player out, Matt O'Reilly's shot, it's brilliant, brilliantly hit, forcing Oblak into a really good save. And then after that, Alistair Johnston sprints to win. He sprints to go into a challenge with Haaland. He manages to hook it back the way off him and out for a throw, and then this place erupts. Yeah, keep that feeling, keep that noise.
The problem, James, I have is I've been here before.
Forget that. This is now.
The other thing is, recent history tells us Atletico Madrid will score again tonight. I just mentioned they've scored at least twice in each of their last 6. In most of their games this season, they score more than one. As Johnston picks up in the near side, Celtic looking for some insurance. Bernardo couldn't get there. DePaul does. The edge of his own box. Rolls it out to Haaland on this near side. Comes forwards. A dreadful ball from him. He gives it straight to McGregor. Now it's with O'Reilly.
He was looking for Morata to run the line. Morata just checked inside and he tried to play a ball through, I think, 2 or 3 Celtic players, and it was cut out.
Diego Simeone's furious down there. He's prancing around this technical area. And Taylor picks up for Celtic. Out to the left, Palma, whose goal has given Celtic the 2-1 lead that they currently enjoy. 37 on the clock. Thrown by Taylor back into his own half for Scales. Switching it to Carter Vickers. Morata chasing it. Carter Vickers gets there though, finds Johnston on this near side, knocking it forward towards Maida. He's fouled by Haaland. Free kick the Celtics way. Haaland's kicked it away, and here comes another yellow card. Yeah. Felix Vieira's
But
certainly likes dishing the cards out, but that, by the letter of the law, that's a yellow.
Yeah, it's the same as Carter Vickers on Morata. The point here is that's all Maeda has to do now. Is just get his body in front of Gallan, and when that ball's played from Johnson into his feet, then he can't tackle him again.
To be fair, he's done it every single time. Haaland's in such a rush to go and press and win it back. Sometimes he's got away with it. In this occasion, he didn't. And now, you know, his reaction, he's on a yellow.
Oh, Johnston's giving it straight to Koke. Here's Griezmann. Now it's with Morata, left-hand side of the Celtic box, waiting for support to arrive. Griezmann's in the middle. He rolls it wide left to Saul instead. To Koke, to Saul Niguez. Back it comes to Haaland. Rolls it infield to Koke. And back into his own half for Hermoso, who finds Witsel in the centre circle. Celtic doing a good job of pushing Atletico back, and Alistair Johnston will be delighted with that, because it was he who gave away the cheap possession deep inside his own half. You cannot afford to do that against this standard of opponent. There's Griezmann controlling on the knee, right of the centre circle. Out to Molina, infield to DePaul. Haaland's in loads of space, but Maida pinches it off him. The referee didn't like it. Free kick Atletico.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much on that, to be honest. He did a great job of closing down.
It's not a foul, Packer.
No, I didn't think it was a foul, because that's the job he's got to do.
Yeah,
and he's got that awareness to go after people in certain positions made, and I thought he did it very well on that occasion.
I thought he got back, just got his right foot on the ball first, and there might have been a slight bit of contact, but more of a coming together. I didn't think it was a foul at all.
It is a free kick just before the midway point of the Celtic half, almost dead centre. DePaul and Griezmann over it. What can they conjure up here? Celtic desperate to get to the break, at least with this 2-1 lead given to them by Luis Palma. Griezmann, left-footed, dink to the right-hand side of the box. The header's won. It's in. Witsel heads home, but the flag goes up over on the north stand side, and that spares Celtic for now at least. Celtic 2, Atletico 1 in the 40th minute.
I'll tell you what they did really well there, Atletico. They stretched Celtic's defenders. They had centre halves on this side that pulled Carter Vickers over onto the right hand side. Bernardo was left away over on the left hand side trying to pick up the other centre-half, and he was always going to be outmatched when that ball was played in there.
Correct
Celtic
decision.
gets away with it.
Correct decision. Game on. The VAR check quickly dispatched with. The Celtic have it with Palma on the halfway line. Another warning for them, though. Here is Palma to Bernardo. They've overcooked it there, though, given away cheaply once more. It's another unforced error. They're going to have to cut that out because they will be punished at some point.
They will, and if you look at when Atletico have it, they work it to one side. If it's not on, they're so quick to get it out the other side. And when Palma picks the ball up,
yeah, ball forward towards Kyogo, left-hand side of the box. Maida's in the middle, but he's one of the smaller players on the pitch, so Kyogo holds on to it. O'Reilly has stayed down, just getting himself back up to his feet now, just left of the centre circle. Celtic play on with McGregor. Back to Scales. Kind of rubbing the back of his head by the looks of things, Matt O'Reilly. Scales for the side football. Here's Bernardo. He'll then switch it to Johnston. Johnston on the turn, trying to shake off Sowell, plays it to McGregor. Now it's Taylor, good build-up by Celtic. Now O'Reilly seems to be okay. Out wide left, dink ball, Palma, Taylor, cushion header back to O'Reilly. Level with the penalty spot, he's in the Atletico penalty area. Forced out of it, wide on that far side. Finds Palma, rolls it back to McGregor. Back to Scales, what price on another Celtic goal before the break? It would be a massive moment for them. They can find themselves a 2-goal cushion. Maida with the back heel on this near side. Bernardo goes down, no free kick. Cleared by Hermoso, out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side though. Level with the edge of the D of the Atletico box. Taken short by Johnston to Bernardo. Back to Johnston, forward to Maida, right-hand side of the penalty area. Challenged by Hermoso, and a foul by Maida on the near side in Haaland, and that particular attack for Celtic is over. We played almost 42, and it's Celtic 2, Atletico 1.
Critical time just before half-time. I'm smiling here to James. I know he wants him to go for
not now. Not now they don't. I think you're right now. It'd be great if they could get it, but
get it at half-time, 2-1 and up, and they're in a really good position then to win this game if Brendan Rodgers does his business at half-time.
Look, a hand was used by Sowell there. Again, the referee's not interested in the Celtic appeals. Antoine Griezmann picks up right-hand side to DePaul in field. It's a poor ball from Rodrigo DePaul for once. He puts it out for a throw-in over on the far side to the hosts. 42 and a half on the clock.
And just before Kyogo goes down the left, I was speaking about, Atletico Madrid, they work it, their passing's crisp, side to side. If it's not on one, they'll go down the other side quick. Celtic, because the amount of work that the midfield Atletico are having to do to get out to full-backs and squeeze that end of the pitch, the switch of players on for Alistair Johnston in this right-hand side, if it's going down the left, or Greg Taylor on the left-hand side if it's coming down the right. If they can move the ball just a little bit quicker when they're in those situations, then they do have that opportunity to break down the opposite side.
A ginormous week of European football for Scotland's representatives in continental competition. And given the coefficient has taken an absolute battering the last couple of seasons, you can forget automatic group stage qualification. In a couple of seasons from now, the way it's going. Sparta Prague Rangers in the Europa League tomorrow, live in Sportssound 5:45. Aberdeen Pauk in the Conference League, 8 p.m. kickoff. That game at Pittodrie, particularly for Aberdeen, looks like a must-win for them. Rangers would probably take a draw in the Czech Republic, but we'll hope to win that one as well. Celtic leading this one in the Champions League tonight, 2-1. Twice they've had a lead. Kyogo opening the scoring for them, cancelled out by Griezmann on the rebound from the penalty. But Luis Palma, as things stand, has Celtic heading in at half-time with a lead. But it's Atletico on the ball, shifted in field here to Hermoso, to Witsel, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Live in Sportssound here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, the one thing about Oblak, and unlike a lot of goalkeepers in Europe now, he won't take any chances, and he will kick long, and that's been a feature of his game if you put him under pressure, and Kyogo will do that at every occasion.
The last two keepers have been pretty good. Oblak, Courtois for Atletico.
De Gea before him.
Yeah, don't get much better, certainly than the Oblak, Courtois. De Gea obviously a good goalkeeper as well. The other two have been just magnificent over the last decade. Courtois currently injured at Real Madrid. As Koke picks up right in the centre circle, rolls it out to the right-hand side to Molina. Now Griezmann deep into the final minute of the 45. The fourth official has the board in his hand as it slipped through towards Griezmann, but it's cut out, and Greg Taylor finds Johnston. Packy was a little bit nervy there as 5 minutes are added on at the end of the first half here. Hermoso's header, that looked like it's going over the line for a throw-in. The linesman says no. Halan has it, now it's with Koke. Koke moving towards the edge of the centre circle. And then slipping it to Griezmann. Now De Paul, back to Griezmann, forward towards Morata inside the box, but he's eventually outnumbered there between Johnston and Carter Vickers to do enough to close the shooting opportunity down for Alvaro Morata. And his effort comes right through to Hart. And it stays Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
What are you looking for there, Packy? Kick the ball at the pitch.
Put it into an area and where you're not going to put it at risk. They've given the ball away now, and you know there's a couple of there's a ball over the top for Griezmann, and we know
Griezmann chasing in behind. Oh, and Scales stuck with him well, and he can only kind of clip it towards the goal, and Joe Hart easily claims it in first half stoppage time. Celtic Park held its collective breath as Griezmann found himself into the penalty area, and he couldn't get any power in it, and Celtic get away with that one. Stays 2-1 to the Scottish champions.
It was brilliant defending from Liam Scales, because Griezmann had made the run early. He had the run on him, and it'd be easy, you know, there, especially because he's letting the ball roll across his body onto his stronger left foot. It'd be easy for Scales to dive in and make a rash decision, but he doesn't. He just uses his strength, trusts his pace to get back in, and does enough to snuff out the danger.
He's been different class for Celtic, hasn't he? He started this year losing a Scottish Cup tie at Darvel with Aberdeen. Here he is in the Champions League, leading Atletico as Celtic come forward again. Left-hand side of the box. So Riley couldn't get onto it though, or he couldn't get the ball across as he would have liked, but he's got it back at the left angle of the area. Skips in field, now it's McGregor dancing into the box. Finds Kyogo, looks for the far corner, takes a deflection and goes behind for Celtic's first corner of this match, which comes in first half stoppage time, with them leading by 2-1, 3 minutes of the stoppage time remaining. What can they do with this one, James McFadden?
Be nice to see them score from it, Liam, I'm not going to lie, but it's great play again down the left-hand side. And the ball in by O'Reilly is just unlucky. It's in the path to Kyogo. Witzel's the head of the ball, sticks his leg out and manages to snuff out the danger.
O'Reilly in swinging corner into the penalty area. Scales attacks it and it's over the bar. Is it a corner or a goal kick? It is a goal kick, says the referee. Scales looked as though he'd got the jump in the defender and got enough leverage to be able to get a header on target. It goes over the bar and it stays Celtic 2, Atletico 1.
Yeah, he just didn't make connection. I think he might have even come off the side of his head or his shoulder. Didn't get any power on the ball and just looped over the crossbar.
Johnston fouled by Morata on this near side. That's a free kick to Celtic just inside their own half. They'll be very happy with the way this stoppage time's petering out for them now. And they could so easily actually have scored a third goal through Liam Scales, who perhaps some Celtic fans will forget, he was man of the match the last time Celtic beat a Spanish team here, against Real Betis in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago. Scales, it was a much changed lineup from Ange Postecoglou that night. They were already out of the tournament. They won the game 3-2. Scales was man of the match. And Celtic on the ball. Bernardo on the far side flicks it in field, but I think it's going to be brought back here. At least the referee's going over to flash another yellow card at an Atletico player. It's Molina this time, over on the far side, I think it is, who's been cautioned.
I can only imagine it's for a high boot. You know, I didn't see the incident properly.
It's another belated decision from the referee then, because again, there's a good few seconds have gone by before he decided to bring it back for the free kick and book the Atletico wing back.
I think the ball had gone up to Paulo Bernardo in the, you know, a more advanced position, and maybe, you know, he's letting play go there for a minute. But he does seem to have a delayed reaction to most of the fouls.
Celtic free kick. 4 of 5 minutes of stoppage time have come and gone here under the lights in Glasgow's East End. The referee wasn't ready. Celtic did take the free kick. Now they have. Taylor back to Scales. Second time of asking. Now it's Carter Vickers to Johnston on this near side. Low ball out wide right. Maida, lovely nutmeg from Maida as he drives forward down the right, but Halan bites back and finds Koke, who finds Hermoso, and then Halan up the line, but he can only put it out for a throw-in. Celtic have a throw-in level with the edge of the D of the Atletico box on this near side. We've got about 20 odd seconds left of the first half.
Sorry, Koke there gives the throw in away, or accepts it's a throw in, catches the ball, rolls it behind his back and throws it back onto the pitch so Celtic can't take a quick throw in.
Poor touch by Johnston there, though, and that ends that Celtic attack as Atletico clear up to the halfway line. Taylor takes no chances and gets plenty juice on the ball back the way to Scales, who finds his keeper. Joe Hart launches it out to this near side. I make that time up. The German referee agrees. And the Celtic supporters stand as one to greet their heroes who are halfway towards a priceless 3 points in this Champions League group. The Atletico players, and a few of them surrounding the referee, they're not happy with one or two things that have been going on out there. But if anyone's been hard done by when it comes to free kicks and fouls or potential fouls, it's surely Celtic. The German referee standing in the centre circle, he's being given a bit of verbals from Stefan Savic, the Atletico defender. Axel Witzel's out here talking to the fourth official as well. And what has been an action-packed, dramatic roller coaster first half for the Celtic supporters. He had a 4-minute lead given to them by Kyogo Furuhashi. Wonderful build-up play. Both Celtic goals were exceptional this evening in the build-up play and the finishing as well. Kyogo in behind the defender, and he knocked it into the far corner of the net to give Celtic the lead. But as was the case against Lazio, they were pegged back around about the same time actually. 25 minutes had gone here when Atletico were awarded a penalty. Molina brought down by Taylor. Griezmann took it. Hart got the slightest touch onto it, we think. It bounced off the post and it broke back favourably for the France international, who rolled it into the bottom left reverse corner of the net. Low finish to make it one apiece. But within 4 minutes, Celtic were in front again. A lovely ball in over the top for Maida on the left-hand side of the box. The cross came in. Witzel tried to get something onto it with a diving header. He couldn't get anything on it though. And that broke beautifully for Luis Palma, who still had lots to do. At the right angle of the 6-yard area, he took a touch and smashed it into the reverse left-hand corner of the net to give Celtic a sensational, sizzling half-time lead here in Glasgow on match day 3 in the UEFA Champions League of Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
Celtic versus Atletico Madrid. Celtic in the Champions League, live on Sports Sound.
This is Sports Sound.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Blair Spittle has scored on the day for Motherwell. Matt O'Reilly has won it with the last kick of the game.
For me, champions find a way, and Celtic tend to do that more often than not.
Good evening to you, Kevin. How are you feeling?
I am feeling sick.
It has been a hard time being a Hibs fan recently. We had the excitement in European competition and we ended up going out in Birmingham.
Chick Young told us at the start of the programme
there would be goals in this game.
Chick Young, Queen's Park against Morton.
We're still playing.
Behind the wall. What do you make of that tactic now? Some teams are adopting that.
Yeah, I think it's okay as long as it's no wet.
The revelation was that Tom English actually once turned out for Airdrie.
I was a player.
What do you make of that, Emma?
Emma.
That was just about the time I started supporting Airdrie.
Well, Kenny, we've got an equaliser! Oh, the St Mirren bench are jumping up and down. Stephen Robinson out of his technical area.
A 96th minute equaliser. Must be an amazing celebrations.
I missed it, Kenny. I'd left early with the V-man.
You couldn't look it up. I love it. Scottish football.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Join us 2 o'clock on Saturday. Lots of action, lots of drama. The fans now heavily involved in the programme. We're with you right through until 7 o'clock, and some big revelations like we heard there regarding Mr. Tom English, who is seated to my left here in the studio tonight. What a terrific first half that's been.
Absolutely magnificent dream stuff for Celtic. A performance of real class against a brilliant team. Celtic showing themselves to be extremely confident, well organised, ruthless. We spoke about their need to be clinical. They've had 3 shots on target. They've had 2 goals, 2 exceptional goals. Wow, razor sharp. Concentrations levels at the back very, very high. Discipline levels very high. Crowd obviously playing its part. It's just been a terrific first half for Celtic.
Yeah, I'm loving the contrast in emotions between Faddy and Pat Bonner this evening. You know, Faddy wanting to go for more goals, Pat urging caution. But I wonder that in some way reflects a dilemma that Brendan Rodgers now has.
I don't think it is a dilemma for Brendan Rodgers.
No?
No, I think he plays the way he plays. He sets his team out the way I think they'll continue doing this. I don't think they can go into retreat because I don't think they can go into retreat. If you go into retreat against Atletico, you're going to lose the game. You know, because they're just too good. What Celtic are doing at the moment, Morata is a bystander. Griezmann is drifting in and out. You can tell Koke not having a great influence. They've kind of neutralised Atletico, and I didn't think they would, but they have. I mean, Atletico haven't peppered Joe Hart's goal. They've got a penalty, which they scored at the second attempt. And they haven't really caused mayhem back there at all. Scales is having a terrific game. Carter Vickers is playing well. I think the concentration, apart from the class with the goals and some of the build-up play, getting down the flanks, the concentration levels at the back and in the middle of the park have been of a very, very high order. This is a superb Celtic performance.
We spoke before the game, Tom, about the importance of Celtic getting the 3 points tonight. We kicked off this evening with the score line in the Netherlands, Feyenoord beating Lazio by 3-1. So looking at the live table right now, Feyenoord top, 6 points, Atletico second on 4, Lazio on 4, Celtic now right back in it, if it stays this way, with 3 points.
Yeah, and you know that. Okay, so we're only halfway through, but you got your fingers crossed for Celtic now, because that's such a high class performance. You want them to finish it out, to do justice by it and finishing it out, and winning the game. And as I said earlier, if they did win this game, from my view, plenty of people I'm sure would disagree with me, but it would be the best single victory in 11 years since Barcelona. I mean, this is high class team they're playing against. 3 World Cup winners, Champions League winners, Europa League winners, La Liga winners, just winners. And if they were to win this game, Celtic, it would be an enormous victory. Historic victory, actually. In recent history of Celtic, this would be right up there. And kickstart in this group. We spoke about Brendan Rodgers' stats. This would be one back. And it would kind of give this team momentum that, yeah, you know what, we can live with these big teams with their big budgets and their world-class players. We can do it. We can go toe-to-toe with these guys, and we can get the better of them. First half, I didn't think Celtic would be this good, but I've been blown away by how good they were.
Faddy, talk to us about that opening goal, a thing of absolute beauty, a thing of absolute class. Just looking back, January 2022, we spoke about Matt O'Reilly before kick-off time. That's when he signed for Celtic. Incredibly, they got him on a £1.5 million deal, 4.5-year deal that he signed. Just looking back to the comments of Ange Postecoglou at the time, we're delighted to get Matt into the club. He's someone who should fit in well with the group we have here, both on and off the field, because of the kind of person he is. My goodness, he's grown into a terrific player. The weight, the vision on that pass was superb, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think when the ball comes across him, he's got so much time to think about what he's going to do. It looks to me as if he's going to take a touch, open it up, and then have a shot at goal. But he just scans the whole area, and it's as if time stops for him, because he sees everything. Most importantly, he sees the run, he sees the gap, and he can execute it. It's a perfectly weighted pass. First time with the side foot, perfect, not a bump, not a bobble on it, just straight into the path of Kyogo, who takes a brilliant touch and shows great composure. And the decision in Matt O'Reilly to make the pass, if you go back to the Feyenoord game, Hatate's a chance at the edge of the box to slip Kyogo in. And by the way, this isn't a chance to slip Kyogo in. I don't know how he's seen it, but he has. But he doesn't. He takes the shot on. And then before the game, we're speaking about, can Celtic be clinical? If they get a chance, can they take it? As that ball's played in, it's a half chance, because you're expecting O'Reilly to turn and get his shot away. But the pass is absolutely sublime. What a season he's having.
Yeah, Jim, don't underestimate Kyogo's movement also.
Yeah.
You know, the finish was magnificent, but his movement after he played that ball into O'Reilly, he kept going. He got in behind the full back, or got in between the full back and the centre half into that space, and that made up O'Reilly's mind. And then the finish was exquisite too. So those two players, the combination was magnificent.
A few moving parts in that goal, and everything was perfect. Everything was pin sharp. The way to pass, the run, the speed of thought. Up against good defenders here, and they just played around them. These defenders didn't know what was happening. It was just a wondrous goal. The second one again, ball up the line. Maeda's times his run perfectly, delivers a perfect cross, lovely first touch by Palma, and drills it in the corner. Everything is perfect, about those two goals.
Yeah. Do you know? Sorry, Kenny. Do you know the most important and probably pleasing thing for Brendan Rodgers is there's no indecision. It's just, I've made my mind up, and the execution's there. Yeah. There's no extra touch or get your head up or play it safe. It's just there, bang, and that's what's been missing for Celtic, because times it's been a bit clumsy, in this run that you were speaking about before the game, where a bit more belief, can they go and get the finish? None of that tonight. It's been quick, it's made their mind up, and they've just done it, and that's been the most impressive part.
Yeah, and out of those three chances, or the two goals plus the shot from O'Reilly, they've hit the target. They've hit the target, made the goalkeeper save one. They've got 2 goals out of it. I don't know excuse me, if they've got any other chances, but certainly those 3 were brilliant.
You're getting emotional there, Pat. You're cracking up, big man. It's too much for you.
He's just admiring Oblak's save, I think. It's just appreciation for the fellow goalkeeper.
Those pies have been in the oven too long.
Good one for Pat. I mean, the thing is, Paddy, we spoke about this before the game kicked off, didn't it, about the recruitment. I'm just looking back when O'Reilly signed, the clubs that were interested, Blackburn, Huddersfield and the left, Venezia also interested. And I actually remember speaking to Ange Postecoglou that night. I think it was maybe the Old Firm game when he had a terrific, I think in the February, a terrific performance that night. And I was saying to him about, it was very obvious why Ange Postecoglou signed a lot of the players that he did, Faddy, but I asked him about the recruitment process in terms of getting Matt O'Reilly coming up from MK Dons. I can't remember the full answer. It was on the lines of, you think I don't do my homework, mate, I think was part of the answer.
Was that you asking a stupid question?
Probably
again,
another
Kenny?
one, yes. He put me in my place many times. But you think about the recruitment, it's been the actual strike rate, the hit rate here has been fantastic.
That's remarkable. It really has. And I think Matt O'Reilly, when he first came in, it took everyone a while to notice just how good he was. I think 5 or 6 games in, he was top for chances created, top for assists, he was top for passing, and it was like, well, he just goes through the game and maybe doesn't catch the eye, but just such a clever, tidy footballer. And then last season he spoke about the challenge was to add more goals to his game, and I know he's not scored tonight. His pass, his composure, sensational, but the goals he's added to his game tonight, and most of them have been making that deep run, the late run into the box and getting on the end of it. But he's recognised tonight that run's not on. He's come off to the edge of the box, everyone else has flooded the box, which gives him the time and space to go and pick the pass out. But I mean, not just Matt O'Reilly, but I think when you look at a player that Celtic are identifying, MK Dons, who've come through the Fulham youth system, that could fit into the profile of the club, young player, hungry, to come up and to have the success that he has had. Because I'm saying he was quiet, he just wasn't really eye-catching, scoring goals and flying into tackles and stuff like that. He was just going about his business. But he has been a brilliant signing for Celtic. I think there was talk of him potentially moving in the summer. I think the fee was reported to be around about 10 million.
Leeds.
Absolutely no chance now.
Yeah, and I think Faddy's touched on a key word there, Packy, and that's hunger. Because again, just looking back, at the time he rejected a new 3-year deal at Fulham, he clearly felt that wasn't the right path for him to be on. And my goodness, it has paid off. It's been tremendous. And I think Faddy touched on it there. As a manager, you're watching that goal. You must just be in absolute dreamland there watching that being put together.
Yeah, listen, there'll be people watching them from the stand also. There'll be people here. And if you're in the Champions League, you're going to take notice from a lot of clubs and how you play. How can you play throughout the game? In this next 45 minutes, they've got to keep that standard up now. And he's got to be one of them also, a key player in the middle of the pitch from that perspective. And I think Celtic just got to keep pressing Atletico, not allow them to dominate and get control of the game, because they are so dangerous in the final third with Griezmann De Paul picking little passes. Morata, he's been quiet, but he'll come alive at one moment in the game, and he can put the ball in the back of the net. So Celtic just got to keep doing what they've been doing really, really well. And I think they've also circulated the ball really, really well from back to front. They've moved it across, goalkeeper scales down the sides, and they worked their way and beat any kind of press that Atletico had, and they've done it really, really well. And there's a change coming up here also for Atletico, I think.
We'll just get in a second. So far, so good for Celtic. 5:45 start in Celtic's group final. Beat Lazio by 3-1. Also an early kick-off. Barcelona beating Shakhtar 2-1. The latest scores: Antwerp 1, Porto have just equalised. That's now 1 apiece. Newcastle United 0, Dortmund 1. PSG had just gone 2-0 up on AC Milan. Leipzig 1, Red Star Belgrade 0, and Young Boys 0. Manchester City have just gone ahead in that game. That's you right up to date with all the latest scorelines. Let's get back to our commentary team at Celtic Park. Celtic against Atletico Madrid in the group stage of the Champions League with Pat Bonner, James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
No real surprise that Atletico have taken off Javi Halan, who was booked and had a difficult first half. He's been replaced by Rodrigo Riquelme, the 23-year-old from Madrid, as Celtic at the second half underway, going from right to left in the green and white hoops, shooting towards the Jockstein stand as they come down the right, and it goes behind for the goal kick. No further changes for Celtic, who had to take off Hatate, injured, and replaced him with Paulo Bernardo. But it is Rodrigo Riquelme who's come on. He had a loan at Bournemouth in season 2021. Atletico academy graduate, former Spanish under-21 international. And that's the solitary change for Atletico at the start of the second half. Celtic with Hart in goal, Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Scales and Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Bernardo, Palma, Maida either side of Kyogo. And I don't think he's been getting enough credit for his pass in the build-up to the second goal. It was Greg Taylor who flighted it over the top of the defence for Maida, who crossed for Palma to make it 2-1. A lead Celtic enjoy at the moment. But here's De Paul for Atletico as they go left to right, crossing into the box, headed away by Taylor. Little cushion headed away by Bernardo, finds Palma on this near side. He is tripped to the ground, and that is a free kick. Foul by Molina on Luis Palma on this near side. Celtic very familiar with Spanish opposition. This is their 39th clash with a team from that country. They've only won 8 of them. The 38 that have been played before. Faced a side from Spain more than from any other country. Italy's next with 29. They're looking to taste success tonight against the Giants of Atletico. It's back to Joe Hart inside his own box. Short ball to the right of it for Carter-Vickers. Morata for company. It's enough to put him off as he gives the ball away. Of course, it was Carter-Vickers' error that led to the Pedro winner for Lazio here 3 weeks ago. And it's now Atletico in possession. And it is Marcus Llorente who's actually come off the bench at half-time as well. We'll get to that in a moment. Atletico have it on the left-hand side of the Celtic box. The ball's punched in there by Koki with the outside of the boot. And it's headed away by Liam Scales and picked up by Palma on this near side. His long ball comes all the way forward and goes out to play on this near side for a throw-in. So 2 changes. Saul and Javi Halan have come off, and they've brought on Marcus Llorente, Spanish international, and Riquelme, as I mentioned, is on as well. So clearly Diego Simeone not happy.
No, he wants to get a bit more control in the game. That's what he wants. He's hoping that those players will ignite them and give them a little bit of more maybe energy to get that ball and control the game. And Celtic, you just got to be careful. Obviously, they're in a great position here. Will they go and take, as James wants them to go and get that 3rd goal, or can they almost set this out for a little bit and maybe pick off Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, I think at that point of the game, when you're 30-odd minutes and you've got the crowd behind you, you need to try and capitalise. But you know, there has to be an element of, you know, don't be gung-ho, don't be throwing bodies forward and taking unnecessary risks. I think that on the changes, Liam, Haaland had to come off. He was struggling. Anytime Maida get the ball, he was getting too tight. He was liable to get sent off. And I think for Saul, like Llorente's got more legs. He can get about the pitch a bit quicker. And Saul really struggled in that first half.
Simeone saw the issues in the midfield. He was a fabulous midfield player himself. Unfortunately for him, probably best remembered in an Argentina shirt for being kicked by David Beckham in Saint Etienne in the World Cup in 1998. Picked up by Johnston, wide in the right. Celtic winning it back in enemy territory. It's back with McGregor, midway inside the Atletico half. Out to the right-hand side for Johnston, back to McGregor, stabs it back to Carter Vickers. Right of the centre circle. Out onto the touchline, Johnston, flicked on by Maida. Johnston giving chase. Riquelme is there though, he's going to try and see it behind. Maida, against the odds, gets to the byline first, plays it across into the box. There's nobody in green and white after it though. Witsel gets there and sweeps it clear to Griezmann. Intelligent ball by Antoine Griezmann, out to this near side. Molina gets it back from Llorente. Molina driving forward. Bernardo with a good challenge though. Forces Molina out wide on this near side. Spastic's a deflection but finds Marcus Llorente. Level with the Celtic penalty spot. Back to Griezmann. Short ball to DePaul. A little delicate chip back looking for Griezmann. It's cleared there by Taylor. Picked up here by Koke. Koke rolling it out wide right for Molina. Gets it back from Llorente. And back to Koke again, the Atletico skipper. Infield to DePaul. He and Molina both started each and every one of Argentina's World Cup games on their way to the trophy last year in Qatar, as O'Reilly brings down DePaul, and that will be a free kick to Atletico, almost at the midway point of the Celtic half, about 10 yards from this near side touchline. 5 into the second half, Celtic leading 2-1, and Luis Palmas been booked for, presumably, the referee has seen that as some kind of time-wasting tactic, delaying Griezmann taking the free kick.
He stood in front of the ball and the referee's shouting for him to get back, and he's taking too long to get back, and the referee's, you know, obviously showing him the yellow card. He's given a couple out for dissent tonight as well, and I know that that is, you know, a drive to stamp out the dissent towards the referees, so he did get warned, Palma.
Griezmann takes it short. It's now with Llorente, dinks the ball into the Celtic box, the left-hand side of it. It's only half away, breaks to Morata, and on the volley on 18 yards left of the D, he rifles it high over the bar, and it stays Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
Yeah, and a little bit of spell from Atletico now, pinning Celtic back a little bit in their own half. Celtic not able to get out, and you can see a slight change, I think, from Atletico. They're going to press Celtic a lot higher in this second half.
Celtic beat Barcelona here in 2012. It was a raucous atmosphere, as you might expect, but they've only won 2 Champions League home games since then. Beat Spartak Moscow in the subsequent game in that group to seal a place in the last 16, and then they beat Ajax in 2013, the season after. You know, a long old wait since then. Is tonight the night. Here comes Llorente though for Atleti, down this near side, rolls it in with the side foot there. Going to try and get Molina involved. Molina flicks it back to Koke with the outside of the boot. Low ball infield to DePaul. Side foot, right foot from him. Maida wins it back off Hermoso. Good play by Maida. Back to Carter Vickers. He had a couple of shaky moments in the first half, couple of loose balls, but he's been excellent since then. Set up Celtic second, as Taylor, who had a big part to play in that as well, finds Palma on the near side. Back to Greg Taylor, and he goes back to Liam Scales, once again impressing in Celtic colours this evening. And to think, if Aberdeen had stumped up just over £1 million, he'd have been playing against PAOK in the Conference League tomorrow evening instead. He has grasped his opportunity big time here.
Yeah, I think you know, I'm looking at the reaction from Morata and Griezmann. In the first half, they were almost sitting off a little bit. Now, every time Celtic get a ball with the goalkeeper, the centre half, they're really pressing them quick and early.
I still think it's one where if Celtic can get the ball moved quick enough, they can get the full-backs on, because the midfielders that are having to go and press. You know, Llorente's come onto the right-hand side of the midfield, and DePaul's having to do it on the left. So when the ball's on its way out, they're then asked to press.
Here's Llorente, gets the cross ball in, and Morata heads home. Diving header inside the 6-yard box, and Morata does what he did against the Scottish national team a fortnight ago in Andalusia, repeating the trick with a header from the cross of Llorente. And it's all square again here in Group E. Celtic 2, Atletico 2, and it's Alvaro Morata.
Yeah, there was a little chance. I thought maybe Greg Taylor could have just stepped out and won that ball. He hesitated, dropped back, and it was a brilliant ball to the back post. Morata just picking up that space away at the back post. I'm not sure whether Alistair Johnson was closed off. Should have been opening up his body. There he was. Difficult for Carter Vickers to go out into that area. He has got to almost defend the middle of the goal. But what a finish.
As clever striker play, you know, Morata's done absolutely nothing all night, but we know his movement's exceptional. You know, he comes off the back. Cameron Carter-Vickers probably just slightly in front of Alistair Johnson. He recognises that that's the space he's going to go and attack. But the ball in from Marcus Llorente is absolutely magnificent. Bent it all the way around the back of the Celtic defence. Joe Hart can't come for it. Cameron Carter-Vickers can't deal with it because of where the ball's placed. And Morata, he's running at almost full speed, and he's having to, you know, change the direction of the ball as it's almost like in front of him. He's really stretching his neck, and he just guides it beyond Joe Hart. It's a tremendous header.
Yeah, half-time sub as well. Llorente with an immediate impact, and here he goes again. Diego Simeone is wildly waving him forward here. Llorente is up to the edge of the Celtic box, rolls it out right-hand side. Griezmann, left-footed cross from the right-hand side, headed away by Scales, and now picked up by Molina. This is now an important time for Celtic, whose lead's been wiped out for a second time on the night. Greg Taylor, he's missed it. Griezmann has it, right-hand side of the box. Celtic funneling back, but it's back to Llorente, blasts it high over the bar from 18 yards out, and it stays Celtic 2, Atletico 2. But that's another loose ball from Celtic, and Atletico have been much, much better since the second half started.
Yeah, they have. I think that Celtic's maybe be looking at, you know, Palma, and can they bring a bit of freshness in that area? Maida, we know, will run all night. Palma's playing deeper and deeper, and he's not been that willing to maybe carry the ball. I see there's a sub warming up. I think it looks like it's Nat Phillips, but I don't think that's the change unless Brendan Rodgers is thinking about going to a back three, which I'd be surprised. But I think that little bit of energy in the left-hand side. James Forrest come on at the weekend. I thought he was outstanding. Look, I know coming on against Hearts, when you're winning comfortably, to playing against Atletico Madrid's totally different. But what he'll bring is energy. He'll bring know-how of the position, his experience, and you know, I think that should be a substitute that Brendan maybe is looking at.
The 12th goal for Morata in 14 appearances for club and country this season. As Bernardo does well, sliding in, finding Maida, who rolls it back to Johnston. Takes Scales, McQueen's side his own half. Liam Scales, low ball forward to Bernardo. Back to Scales, now to Taylor, and then to Scales again. Celtic need to dust themselves down. They've proven they can score more than once against this Atletico side. The problem is, you kind of suspected, given the run of form they're in just now, that Atletico would score again tonight.
Yeah, the disappointing thing is that the period that Atletico has control of the game, and they force Celtic back into their defensive, probably third, they've capitalised on a couple of occasions, you know, and Celtic haven't been able to get over that period. And there's a real game on here at the moment.
There's Palma picking it up on the near side, throws it into Bernardo, on loan from Benfica. So they do have an option to buy him if he impresses. He's been pretty good since coming on, albeit got the slightest touch on the challenge in Llorente in the build-up to that second Atletico goal. But here comes Maida up the other end, crosses in, and Molina spooked with Palma behind him, puts it behind for a Celtic corner. Simeone's raging with that decision.
Well, I'm sure Brendan Rodgers is raging also, because Palma, he's got to be in there. He's got to get into the back post. He can't hang out, especially when the play's gone down the right-hand side.
57 and a half on the clock, 2 apiece. Palma over this corner from the Celtic left as they attack the goal to the left. In it comes, it's just missed by O'Reilly at the near post, headed away by Morata. Back into the box it comes and headed clear. Bouncing ball awkward for McGregor, who does well to turn it back to Johnston, who'll in turn go back to his goalkeeper. The chaser is Riquelme. Comes back with Hart to find Scales. Short to Johnston, back to Scales with his passes charged down. Llorente was fouled by Taylor. We're going to play on here with DePaul at the edge of the box. Morata, right hand side of the area, back onto the left foot, shoots, and Hart pats it behind for the corner. Yellow card coming out here for Greg Taylor.
Yeah, it was a free
I don't think he catches him. he's desperate to get the yellow card out and blow the whistle to stop that attack there. I'm not so sure how much is in that.
Yeah, I just want to go back to, I think Joe Hart on that occasion should have been playing that ball longer.
Yeah.
You know, the structure at the back to pass the ball out was all over the place. You know, Scales was running back towards him from almost trying to recover back his run. He wasn't in the position to go and build the game.
Griezmann will take the corner right in front of the Atletico fans, off to our right. Left-footed in-swinger from Griezmann. Hart punches as it was heading towards the underside of his bar and cleared by Bernardo. Palma controls it, launching it forward, looking for Maida, who will chase and chase and chase. Llorente's, he got enough on it. Maida chases, Oblak comes to meet him and wins it at the edge of the area with a head. Good goalkeeping by Jan Oblak as Maida fouls Koke on the far side. Free kick to Atletico, and Maida's eyes would have lit up there when he saw that ball coming towards him. And it is going to be a free kick to Atleti over on the far side. And Fadi, it does look as though, is that Nat Phillips just getting ready to come on here for Celtic?
Yeah. I mean, I think that Carter Vickers and Scales have been excellent. You know, you're looking at, we'll only get one look at the goal, the second goal in particular.
I just think
we
that
don't know.
Johnson probably should have been tucked around or get his body over. Moretas peels off to the back post. I don't think Carter Vickers can go with him. I think he's got to hold his middle position, and then the fullback's got to come into play there. He's got to do the defensive bit, and he didn't.
I think that's, to me, it can only be a change of system.
Carter Vickers was booked in the first half, Carter Vickers, so I don't know if that's coming into the thing.
You can't just take players off because they've been on a yellow. He's such an experienced player, such a huge player for Celtic, and Morata gets free because that's what he does. His movement's excellent, but apart from that, Carter Vickers has been excellent against him.
Every time I see Morata, he seems to impress, seems to score, and of course he took a heck of a long time to win over the Spanish public with the national side. And he's got a home at Atletico, former Chelsea, Real Madrid player. As Maida picks up on the far side, showed too much of Riquelme, and it bounces off him and out for a Celtic throw-in over on the north stand side, and Johnston takes it, bowling it back into his own half for Carter Vickers. Rolls it back out wide right for Johnston, up the line for O'Reilly. Back to Johnston and into his own half for Carter Vickers again. Beyond the hour mark here at Celtic Park, 2-2. Champions League Group E. Palma passing it forward. If Celtic could win this game, it would blow this section wide open. A draw, they'll probably have to get something in the Metropolitano against Atletico in 2 weeks' time. It might be the one game they could potentially lose and still navigate their way through, maybe not to the last 16, possibly to the last 16, certainly to third spot. They feel they need to win this one. Palma to Taylor, his cross is cut out by Llorente and out for a throw-in. It's come off Taylor last though. It's going to be a throw-in to the visitors, and Nat Phillips is going to come on for Celtic now, and he's going to replace Luis Palma. Talk us through that one.
It's back three. It's a back three. You know, as it was happening, Luis Palma's been playing deeper and deeper this second half. He hasn't been able to get up the park and be a threat. So I just couldn't see that it was going to be Scales or Carter Vickers because they've played so well. So it's a back three. It allows that back three to take care of Morata and Griezmann. They'll match up in the midfield area and go 3 for 3. They'll match up in the wing backs unless it goes a 3-4-3. Matt O'Reilly playing more of a 10. And then, well, Maida's going to go through the middle with Kyogo. So it's back to a 3-5-2. It's basically matching Atletico up and saying that, you know, Celtic can cause them problems, particularly with the pace of Maida through the middle.
It is 2 apiece at Celtic Park here on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, on digital, online. As Griezmann picks up a loose ball in the midfield and finds DePaul. DePaul's got a runner to his left, and Riquelme, he checks his run instead. Little back flick for Griezmann, knew where he was. Now it comes to Riquelme on the left, back to Griezmann, infield to DePaul. Koke to Griezmann, now Koke. 2 players that the Atletico supporters absolutely love, in Koke and Griezmann. Forward comes DePaul, pass forward's cut out, and then one back by Atletico. Savic now the edge of the box. Llorente shoots, deflected wide, and ripples the side net. Joe Hart had a nervous look over his shoulder. That could so easily have gone the other side of the post. It is just a corner to the visitors. Could have been worse. Celtic 2, Atletico 2.
Yeah, Llorente's made a difference, hasn't he? Playing in that sort of kind of almost inside right position, and he's getting a lot of the ball, breaking forward into really good areas, laid on the goal, and that time he had that shot that was just deflected wide.
Yeah, he's a good player, Packy. Really good player. Corner from Griezmann into the 6-yard area. Celtic get it away, and then Taylor helps it on its way out to this near side. Kept in play by Griezmann. Looks up, left-footed ball. The big switch out to the left, headed away by Johnston. Though, and Maida has it, just wouldn't stop bouncing for him, but he's able to find Johnston. Back to Maida. Brilliant footwork from Maida to get himself away from McKelvey and buy himself some space. Phillips finds McGregor in the centre circle. It's O'Reilly. Shifts it to the left for Scales. Taylor on the touchline. Taylor and Johnston playing as wing backs for the back three behind them. Phillips out to Johnston.
This is a new system. We haven't seen Celtic play this system, I don't think, this season so far, and it'll be interesting to see how they actually move the ball when they have it.
Well, they seem to be getting out better, because Phillips is going wide, Scales is going wide, Morata and Griezmann are still just dropping off, and then it's still the midfielder that's releasing Koke or Llorente or DePaul that's releasing to go and press the centre-back.
Johnston in behind, O'Reilly's in, pulls it across the face of goal. There's nobody there though, and it goes out for a corner on the far side. Could have been so much better.
Could he have lifted that ball over the goalkeeper? That would be my first impression.
Yeah, I think that because of the angle, but someone should be gambling there. Kyogo, you expect, would be alert to gamble, because Matt O'Reilly's beating that back line. The runs we're so used to seeing.
O'Reilly takes the corner. It's poor though. It's headed away by Griezmann at the near post. McGregor heading it forward, but it's booted to safety, and Griezmann chases and controls beautifully. Across the halfway line he goes. Forced back the way by McGregor to Riquelme, infield to DePaul. He goes back to Hermoso, picked up by Koke, the Atletico skipper. 65.5 played it to a piece.
I can't remember Griezmann giving the ball away once when he's had it. Even there he was under pressure and he was able to find his own player.
Yeah, I mean, he came to the fore long before Euro 2016, but that's when everyone stood up and took notice of him. He was player of the tournament, helped France all the way through to the final, which they ultimately lost on home soil to Portugal. But he had a magnificent tournament, went on to win the World Cup with France 2 years later. And he starred in Russia. It will be a throw-in for Atletico. The referee's not happy with where Molina was taking it though. Atletico better since the break. Morata with the equaliser. He and Griezmann, you knew they were the main dangers, and they have both got the goals tonight for the visitors. There's Taylor for Celtic. Infield to Kyogo. First time's poor though. Looking for Maida. Through to Savic, he goes back to Oblak.
What a pass it was from Greg Taylor. He's down this left-hand side. He is under a bit of pressure.
He's got his eye in tonight, doesn't he?
He has. But the pass is probably up the line. The safe pass is up the line to Maida, who's got a race then with Savic. But he spots Kyogo and he just hits it straight into his feet. Kyogo is in time and space. He's trying to just flick it round the corner for Maida, but after he'd made the wide run, he'd started to run inside. Kyogo, if he just gets turned, can maybe play a simpler pass into the path of Maida.
Another change coming for Atletico in a moment. Here they come with Molina, right-hand side of the Celtic box. Crosses in, headed away by the unknown Liverpool defender, Phillips. Koke keeps it alive though. Here's DePaul. DePaul midway inside Celtic territory. Rolls it short to Koke. Poor ball from Koke, really easily headed away in the 18-yard line there by Scales, but it breaks to Molina via Savic. Now it's with DePaul. Shifts it to his left for Griezmann. Back the way to Hermoso, left of the centre circle. Out to Riquelme on that far side. Back infield to DePaul. As we tick into the final quarter of this fixture on Matchday 3 in Champions League Group E. Forward to the right-hand side of the box for Llorente. Scales does brilliantly. Strong defending. Chaperones it behind for the goal kick. And it stays Celtic 2, Atletico 2. Well, Liam Scales has come of age the last couple of months. Full internationalist for the Republic as well now, Packy.
Yeah, and listen, defending too, he's improving. And that was a really good bit of defending. Just used his body, his strength, and just ran the ball out of play. Really good.
I think he's been different class, I really do. This is a massive night. You listen to the crowd, the build-up, the pressure, the expectation, who you're playing against. Liam Scales has been magnificent again. Even, you know, he's caught the ball there, taking the ball, being brave, passing forward. But when he's been asked to defend, the reading of the situation, the composure he's shown in the situations, he's been outstanding again.
A couple of changes, but it's just the one change they're going to make at the moment. Angel Correa, Argentina international, is going to come on. He's generally a perennial substitute for the Argentinian national side.
He scores goals though.
He does.
That's for sure.
He's got 3 this season in his 8 appearances. All Black took an eternity there. Maida chasing him down, and Molina, has he been able to keep it in play? It looks as though he has just about. It's eventually gone out. Celtic throw-in, Taylor level with the Atletico 18. Here's Kyogo to Maida, back to Kyogo on this near side. Bernardo back up the line for Scales. Infield to McGregor, back to Scales. 21 to play. It's with Carter Vickers, forward to O'Reilly, back to Carter Vickers, sweeps it to Scales on this near side. Short ball infield to McGregor, into Kyogo's just in behind him though, and he's giving it away. Now it's Griezmann, Morata ahead of him, that's where he's gone. Low ball, Alvaro Morata chasing it. He's got support arriving now as well, but Carter Vickers does enough to put him off, but it's given away immediately, I think, by Bernardo. It's now with De Paul. Right hand angle of the Celtic box with Llorente. Back to De Paul, to Koke, to Griezmann, left to centre, gets it back immediately from Riquelme. Griezmann with the up and under into the box. Morata goes down, breaks to Llorente, pulls it back to De Paul. Cut out brilliantly by McGregor, the Celtic skipper. Celtic hanging on a little bit here. Going into the final 20. Marcus Llorente to Koke. Now De Paul. De Paul, wide right, Llorente, level with the 6. Clipped ball in, headed away by Johnston. Doesn't get a decisive header on it though. Kept alive here with Riquelme. Rolls it back though. The ball in from Hermoso is cleared. Celtic fans pleading with their team to push out. They do eventually. Atletico go all the way back to Oblak at the edge of his box.
But they had to wait. They had to weather that storm there because the ball was going to come in. Atletico had pushed bodies forward. Celtic had to defend it, and they managed to do that.
Axel Witsel to De Paul. Back to Witsel on the far side. He rolls it back the way. It's now with Hermoso. Picked up by Koke. He's come very deep to find possession there. Down to the right-hand side for Molina. Cross halfway, infield for Griezmann. Heavy touch, but he nicks it ahead of Scales. Gives it straight to Taylor, though, but Llorente picks up the scraps. He's been the difference for Atletico. It's now with Rodrigo De Paul. Wide left for Riquelme. Rides the challenge at Johnston. Looks to shoot, blocked by Phillips. Here comes Hermoso. Atletico come again. De Paul elects to play it along the grass to this near side for Savic. Correa's still waiting to come on here. Ball hasn't gone out of play in the last few minutes. McGregor picks up a loose ball and clears.
This is a trade-off for Celtic. You know, they've gone from a 4-3-3 where the out ball and the pace is down the sides. Now they have to be solid and compact, and they've only really got a straight ball up the pitch, and they can't really get their foot in the ball. They have it now. It's been a bit panicky the last couple of minutes, but that out ball is now through the middle and not down the sides.
Celtic free kick on the far side now. Angel Correa will be able to come on. His countryman and manager Diego Simeone giving him a pat in the back, and he is going to come on for Alvaro Morata, who squared the game at 2 apiece. Just where it stands right now on 72 minutes. It's going to be very interesting to find out what the full-time score in this one's going to be. It's such a pivotal, key fixture for Celtic in this group, particularly when you consider Feyenoord were 3-1 winners over Lazio earlier on. A double from Jimenez. Zerouki got the other one. Pedro scored a late penalty consolation for the Italians. It was 3-1 Feyenoord in Rotterdam. Let's put them in a good position in the group. Having beaten Celtic in matchday 1, they've responded to defeat to Atletico in matchday 2. Long ball from Celtic is easily mopped up by Hermoso to Witsel. Now Molina, infield it goes to Koke, swings the long ball forward for Correa, who's just on. Scales challenging and Scales clearing. Good play from him. Molina picks up though on the right hand side. Now it is with Savic to Molina. Atletico now with 4 World Cup winners on the pitch for them right now. 3 of them last year. And the group as it stands is Feyenoord on 6. Atletico would finish tonight on 5, Lazio 4, and Celtic on 1, ahead of their trip to the Spanish capital in a fortnight's time. It would put a heck of a lot of pressure on that fixture in the Metropolitano, even just to finish third in this group.
Yeah, Celtic just lost the rhythm a little bit and the passing and keeping the ball in possession, and they're obviously pinned back a little bit also with Atletico, who've taken control of the game.
Yeah, well, because they've gone to the 3-5-2 Celtic, Greg Taylor's coming back in on
Kyogo gives it away, Correa bends it into the box looking for Griezmann. Phillips with a cam header back to Joe Hart, who has to scamper over to his left to get onto it, flops onto it, picks it up. 74 played, Celtic 2, Atletico 2.
Just on this side, Greg Taylor's having to drop back and make it a back 5 because Llorente's making that run just off the back of Scales, which means that Atletico have the space down the right hand side with Molina. But when Celtic won the ball back, they've given it away too quickly and too cheaply. I don't know if it's because different players are in different positions and they don't really have as many options in that system.
But when they're up the pitch there, Faddy, they've got to make better use of the ball. Nat Phillips with a dreadful pass looking for Alistair Johnston. Eventually he overhits it and it's back with Atletico.
Yeah, and if you look at the midfield, you've got Griezmann, who's almost floating around, and you've got to be really careful where he is.
Yep, Bernardo picks up a loose ball in the midfield, but he can only dump it out for a throw in the far side. Celtic quite simply cannot get out of their own half right now.
No, but I was going to say that obviously McGregor's got to take care of him at times, and then Llorente's stretched the game. He's pulled over the inside right position, and it's difficult to pick him up.
And Koki's sitting deep in the 6 as well.
There's a chance for DePaul, low ball forward towards Riquelme, he's cut out, breaks to Johnston. Johnston looking to fire it forward to Maida, who's going to get onto it right hand side of the penalty area. Kyogo in the middle, the pass sticks a deflection off Witsel, who gets there on at the second attempt to beat Kyogo to it. Another wasted opportunity for Celtic in a really promising attacking position. If they want to win this game, they need to make better use of those situations.
Yeah, he didn't have to cross it that early. You know, just take his time, straighten up, see where Kyogo's struggling to get himself up into a good position, and then he just hits it in almost first time, and it was easily cleared by Witsel.
Even, Hermoso's out of the game. Drive in towards Witsel and make him make a decision, but get your head up definitely and see if you can, find Kyogo rather than just putting that in first time. He had loads of time and space, didn't have to do it.
Clip ball out to this near side. Molina flicks on. Llorente, was he on or off? He's on at the moment. Pulls it back to Correa. Wonderful turn in the box. Shoot saved by the foot of Joe Hart. Big chance for the Atletico number 10. A wonderful pirouette it was from him in the penalty area. Just took the defender right out of the equation when he couldn't beat Hart, and it stays Celtic 2, Atletico 2 on 76.
Yeah, I think he's got to change it and put somebody in the middle of the pitch, because Bernardo's not almost a defensive oriented player, and Llorente's just running off him, and he's not able to do a real offside.
There's Correa again. There's no flag against him at the moment. Eventually it does go up, and it is an offside, and it is a Celtic free kick.
And it's an incredible challenge again from Liam Scales, because he doesn't know he's offside. Celtic on the break now down the right.
Yeah, took it quickly as Johnston. James Forrest's coming on shortly. He's provided some magic moments in the past. Kyogo, a poor decision from Kyogo though, looking for Johnston, who moved infield. He put it back out wide right and then gives it straight back to Atletico.
It's that first time pass again. Doesn't need to play it. He can turn, take a touch, and then look for Johnston gone well offside by that point. But
that's the issue there. I'm just looking at obviously Greg Taylor and Bernardo, almost who's going to go with Llorente, who's going to go to the wing back, look at if he leaves Llorente now, he's going almost in a free space higher beyond Bernardo.
I think Scales has done it now. I think Scales has to be the one to do it, because they have the numbers in that situation.
Just can't keep the ball, Celtic. Scales this time giving it away. Correa out to Llorente on the right, low ball, side foot to the edge of the D for Griezmann. Now back with Correa, runs into trouble. It's won back brilliantly by O'Reilly, and that's a better touch from Kyogo. Now he's driving up to halfway. Only Maida to hit ahead of him. He needs more support, but it's not arriving. He runs into another cul-de-sac, and then right in front of the referee, the Celtic player goes down, and this time he does award the free kick. It's Alistair Johnston who's upended right of the centre circle. 2 apiece, 12 to play of the 90. James Forrest is coming on for the Scottish champions.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Griezmann there, or was it maybe the two Celtic
I thought it was Kyogo that brought Johnston down.
Yeah, but anyway, Celtic aren't complaining. They got a free kick, and it'll be interesting now to see James Forrest is coming on. Will he take Maeda's position?
It's Kyogo who's coming off.
Kyogo's coming on. Maeda might.
Man who gave Celtic the lead as he did against Lazio. You hope they're able to take at least a point on this occasion, having lost that game to the Romans. Kyogo took his goal really well, and what a wonderful build-up it was before Kyogo applied the finishing touch. Both Celtic goals were of the highest quality this evening.
Yeah,
and he's given the ball away a few times in recent times, so perhaps that's in the thinking as well. He's hooked for Forrest.
Yeah, Maeda will play through the middle. Forrest will sort of come into a wider position, or will he play off Maeda? It could be almost a 5-3-2. I don't know. Let's see how it pans out.
Atletico are going to make a change in a moment as well. And they bring on the youngster Pablo Barrios, attacking midfielder. Now back with Hart. So heading towards the final 10 of the 90. It's 2-2. As things stand, Celtic are at least picking up their first point in this Champions League group. And they've only won 2 away Champions League games since they first played in the competition in its current format. You have to feel that they have to somehow find a winner between now and full time here, inside their own lair, a game in which they've led twice. It's with Axel Witsel at the edge of his own penalty area. He side foots it to Savic. Short ball to his right, clipped forward by Molina. Griezmann can't control, Scales with a good challenge. Now McGregor intervenes, finds Carter Vickers, back to McGregor. Now to Taylor, to Bernardo, to McGregor, to Forrest who's just on. Forrest are going to slip it through to Maeda. Maeda looking to return it to Forrest with a back heel. And he can only give it straight to Axel Witsel.
It's the first time pass again then. It's brilliant.
Well, that's a bit fortuitous. It pings over the Celtic defence, wide left for Riquelme. Now he's got 2 arriving. Correa's one of them, Griezmann's the other. His ball-in's poor though, and it's cleared round about the penalty spot by Carter Vickers. Stays 2-2.
That chance has worked brilliantly from Celtic. It's fired in by James Forrest into the feet of Maeda. He's got too much space to make up for that to be a one-touch layoff inside. He needs to take a touch, wait for Forrest to make his run, then he can flick it inside. And that's what it's breaking down for Celtic. The very few occasions of managing to get forward, it's all one touch, and they seem to be giving it away.
Oh, brilliant from Atletico, and brilliant Molina, and Griezmann, who has it now, the Frenchman. Up to the edge of the box, plays it back to De Paul, slides it through, cut out. Bernardo looking to pick it up. It's a challenge from Rodrigo De Paul. The referee's going to his pocket, and De Paul is going to be sent off. Second yellow. The World Cup winner's off. And Atletico are going to have to pay the last almost 10 of the 90 plus stoppage time. A man down. De Paul, red carded, 2-2. And a yellow card for Savic as well.
Yeah, it certainly will change things in the middle of the pitch. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do. I don't think they'll make that substitution right now until this pans out. He'll have to strengthen up in that midfield somewhere.
And what were we saying in the first half when Rodrigo De Paul picked up his first booking for complaining about the referee not spotting a handball, went to the video assistant and was deemed that there was no penalty. Yeah. How costly is that for him now? He's still going on at the German ref. Yeah. Now, the VAR cannot intervene in second yellows even if De Paul wants them to. He's off, and he has to leave the pitch now. And this is just bolting on more stoppage time for Celtic to try and find a winner. But what an opportunity they now have for a grandstand finish, Paddy.
Yeah, it's massive. This could be a massive turning point. We've looked at, moments in Celtic's campaign so far when they go down to 10, go down to 9, and how much that had an impact on the outcome of the game. Celtic need to make this advantage pay now, because they were struggling to change the shape. They've had a little bit of success of late going forward, and it's that one-touch passing. They should get more time and space. I would expect Atletico to drop back and sit and try and absorb and try and hit Celtic on the break. And if any team can do it, it's them. They're so well drilled, they're so hard working and organised. But Celtic now have a huge opportunity to go and win this game, and that's another slack pass from Nat Phillips.
Simeone down there, he's tutting away to himself, he's muttering away to himself, he's chuntering away to himself. He is apoplectic at the decision to send off his midfield enforcer, Rodrigo de Paul. But that is a loose ball from Celtic down the right, and it goes behind for an Atletico goal kick. 83 on the clock, 2-2. Sticker twist time for the Scottish champions, Packy.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's all there for them now. It's how they exploit that free player. And I think Griezmann will drop back in to midfield. But, you know, again, would you take 2 each? I know it's down to 10 men. I would certainly take 2 each at this moment in time.
Would you?
I would. I just think they're a dangerous team. They will create something. Probably. Can Celtic create something? That's the key.
I feel a draw would have been an okay result had Lazio won earlier, but here comes Correa for Atletico. It's a shot first time at the edge of the box, and it's an easy take for Joe Hart, who bowls it underarm to O'Reilly.
There's a difference now for Atletico. That's, you know, a long ball in behind. Correa has nothing on but a shot, and it's a horrible angle from
Taylor to Bernardo. Taylor out wide left, onto it, level with the 18, back to Bernardo. Short ball, square to McGregor. Celtic trying to find a way through the Atletico defence. They're one of the best defensive units you will find in world football. They're a man down, but they are so well drilled when it comes to these kind of situations when they're up against it, and they are now down to 10 men. Celtic have to find their way through this world-class defensive unit. Here's Forrest, short to McGregor. It's a poor ball from Callum McGregor, but don't say it often. He's put it straight behind for the goal kick, and it stays Celtic 2, 10-man Atletico 2, as we tick on towards 85 on the clock.
Yeah, it'd be a classic just defend, counter-attack from Atletico Madrid. But Celtic, have they got the players that will take responsibility now in those, especially in those wide areas, and go and take them on?
I think it's, again, you know, that chance breaks down because it's a first-time pass again. I don't think there has to be such a rush now. There's not too many gaps, but you're right, there's taking responsibility, whether it's someone making a run or just putting their foot on the ball, taking that extra touch and not forcing it. But you feel that, you know, if Celtic can just compose themselves a little bit, and I know they're the one with the extra player, they will get a chance.
Yeah, a lot of the Celtic play when they've been on the ball just feels a little bit jittery. And there's, at times, as Paddy's saying, there's no need for it to be that way. It's a poor ball, Koke, misunderstanding Riquelme, and it's out for a Celtic throw-in midway inside their own half.
Liam, I think the decision-making, look, Atletico, something had to change for Celtic because they were getting pegged back, but since they've changed the shape, it seems to be that it's breaking down more in the attacking area. Maybe because players aren't in positions they used to be, or they should be, or the players are used to being, and instead of just getting their head up and realising, taking an extra touch, they're trying to play it first time because it's just natural, it's instinctive.
Here's McGregor, just outside the centre circle, squares it to Scales, up to the midway point at the Atletico half, out wide left for Greg Taylor, level with the 18. Taylor moves in field, turns it to Bernardo, plays it across, cut out by Savic, breaks back to Taylor, to Forrest, and on the right foot, first time over the bar. It's leaning back a little bit there as well, was the substitute Forrest, the Celtic legend. And it remains 2 apiece here on 86 and a half.
And Alistair Johnston's asking for that ball just to be clipped to the back post. He fancies himself to go and attack it. And again, you know, good play down the left-hand side. When it comes back to Greg Taylor, he does take the touch, he does get his head up. But James Forrest just slightly off balance, just tries to open his right foot and guide that into the far post. Just leans back a little bit too much to see it going over the bar. But it's much better from Celtic.
Well, by Phillips on Griezmann over on that far side, just inside the Celtic half, and Atletico, who will now be more than happy with a draw, will take plenty time, I would have thought, to take this free kick, and Griezmann is asking for the physios to come on.
Yeah,
Simeone's telling them to stay.
I thought, to be honest, I thought that was a really good header from Nat Phillips. He was stretching for it. You know, whether he's
sorry, Simeone's telling the ref, I'm not sending my physio on. The ref's telling the physios to come on. Simeone's saying, no, I'm not bringing them on.
This player, to be fair to Simeone, Griezmann's back on his feet. Clearly they don't need the medical team on here. And what this does is just, okay, the referee will have stopped the watch, he'll be adding this on, but
He knows. He's been in that battle before himself in the middle of the pitch.
It's because he doesn't want him to go off the pitch.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Griezmann to be off the pitch and put them down to 9 men.
Well, now he's telling the physio to go on. And Griezmann has been told to get off the pitch on the far side. If he's on his feet, he can get off the pitch.
Well, because they've brought the physio on, he has to go off now. And that is what Simeone didn't want. But if he needs treatment, like the referee, the assistant on this side,
I can't see this needing treatment unless there's a cut.
They're telling him it's a head knock.
Yeah. Well, Griezmann's off, so that means Atletico are down to 9 right now. For how long we don't know. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left, plus whatever referees VAR decides to add on at the end.
The physios haven't even spoken to Griezmann. They've just jogged over and stood beside
it's a farce. Free kick Atletico, which they've taken down the far side. Johnston wins the header. O'Reilly looked like a handball, but he's given it away, but wins it back in double quick time. Forward towards Bernardo. Llorente beats him to it. Llorente goes down. Atletico free kick. Griezmann comes back on.
Yeah, he was on his heels. Bernardo, to be honest, when that ball's passed into him and he put his body between the ball and the player, and the referee deemed it a foul. This is danger for Celtic.
It certainly is. You don't want to. I mean, a point might not be enough, but they'd rather that than lose the game late on, as they did against Lazio last time out in this section. Minute 90. Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 2. It's an Atletico free kick to be taken by Antoine Griezmann, left-footed. Into the box it comes. Vince Owens the header. It bounces inside the 6-yard area. Down went Savic. It's cleared by O'Reilly out for an Atletico throw-in on this near side. Main stand side, level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box.
And that's the danger, because it's not a great ball in, but Witsel does really well and just helps onto the back post. Savic, we know how aggressive he is in going challenging. Nat Phillips is really close to him, but that just shows you the threat they carry. They will sit back, they'll defend.
5 being added, 5 minutes being added. We're into the first of them. Simeone leaping about this technical area. Molina's throw-in's poor, headed away by Taylor. Breaks back to Molina, back into the Celtic box, where it's thumped away by Carter Vickers and out for a throw-in on the near side to the visitors. But these closing stages are going perfectly for Simeone and his team. If they can nick a winner, they'd be delighted, but they'll be more than happy to go back to Spain with a point now, you suggest.
I think they would. I think they would. Would Celtic be happy with a point? I think they would probably consider.
Led twice.
Yeah, I know that, but considering the second half, I think Atletico dominated for long periods.
I think now means they got to win on the road. I mean, they probably had to do that anyway. They probably had to go to Rome, given the scoreline earlier, and win that game against Lazio. You now feel, certainly if they're going to progress in the Champions League, if this finishes 2-2, they're going to have to get something in the Metropolitano in a fortnight. Here's Forrest for Celtic, doing some attacking, midway inside Atletico territory. Huge few minutes coming up here at Celtic Park. Here's Scales, out wide left for Taylor. Steps in field, rolls it back to Liam Scales. Left foot ball along the deck, out to Bernardo on the near side. Little ball in field to Forrest, lovely turn, but closed down by Savic. He goes back to his keeper, and All Black clears under pressure from Maida. Atletico will sit back here. Celtic have it with Scales. We played a minute of the 5. Now we're at it, it's 2 apiece. Here's O'Reilly. He's been the main man for Celtic so far this season. And if a team, a club, likes late drama, it is Celtic Football Club. Scales back to Carter Vickers. Short to Phillips. Out to Johnston on the touchline, the far side, level with the edge of the Atletico box. Rolls it back to Phillips. Phillips to Carter Vickers. Simeone telling his team to press in. Here's Scales. Wide left for Taylor. Taylor finds Bernardo. Left to the Atletico box. Taylor continues his run. Bernardo rolls it back to Scales. Left foot clip ball comes into the box. Headed away though. Only as far as Carter Vickers. Little cushion header for O'Reilly. Out to the right-hand side of the box for Phillips. It's the big centre-back in the right wing position. He's won his team a corner. Brilliant from Nat Phillips. It draws applause from Brendan Rodgers down below us. But there's only 2 minutes of the stoppage time left. Only less now than 2 minutes for Celtic to win this game.
Don't take it short. They've got enough height now in the box. They're down to 10 men. They've got Nat Phillips on the pitch. Let's get a good quality ball in.
In from O'Reilly into the penalty area. Phillips attacked it. Witsel heads away, but the referee sounds the whistle and gives Atletico a free kick inside their penalty area in any case. And it stays Celtic 2, Atleti 2, with just over a minute left. It's looking like a share of the spoils.
Yeah, and when Celtic get opportunities like that from a corner, they have to make it pay, because there was a slight bit of frustration when the ball's coming from Scales to Carter Vickers, out to Phillips, back in, and they're looking for a cross into the box, but your targets are Forrest, Maida, Alistair Johnson's making his way up. There's no real aerial threat in there, so they have to work it and try and build and play that defence splitter rather than, you know, the cross.
Just under 2 to play then. Here's Taylor, plays it off Llorente and out for a Celtic throw-in. Brendan Rodgers in a hurry to get the ball back to Greg Taylor, which he does. Taylor bowls it back to Scales. Can Celtic win it? This has been a crowd that's been starved of Champions League success for over a decade now. Back Johnston to Phillips, to Carter Vickers, right of the centre circle, to the left of it for Scales in the Atletico half. Low ball out to Taylor on the near side, infield to Bernardo. On as an early sub for Rio Hatate. Here is Carter Vickers now, out to Johnston on the right hand side. Infield to O'Reilly. O'Reilly looking for some space at the right angle of the box. He is, gets the ball across, it comes right through to All Black though. Frustrating for O'Reilly, frustrating for the Celtic fans, many of whom think that that's it and begin to head for the exit doors. It stays Celtic 2, Atletico 2. It's looking like a draw. Scales heads away. Now it's with Koki. And his ball goes straight to Phillips. Johnston to Phillips. Infield to O'Reilly. O'Reilly forward to Forrest in the final minute of stoppage time. Forrest rolls it out wide right for Phillips. Forrest continues his run. Phillips gives it back to him. Forrest gets the low ball across. Stabbed away by Savic though. Nobody in green and white hoops attacking it. And Griezmann with a wonderful ball to Correa. And Correa's now driving forward. Out wide left for Griezmann. Holds it up though rather than playing the early ball. And rolls it back the way to Riquelme. Finds Koki. And that is just about it. Just over 10 seconds left. 2 apiece. Atletico have the ball and might get the last chance. In fact, there is not going to be a last chance. It's a point apiece here in Group E. Diego Simeone was animated from the first minute to the last, exchange handshakes with Brendan Rodgers. Celtic at least off the mark in Champions League Group E tonight. Their first point of the campaign. But the long wait for a victory here at Celtic Park in this tournament goes on. 10 years since that win over Ajax, 11 years since they stunned Europe for that victory over Barcelona here. And it looked as though tonight might be the night. They led twice, Kyogo scoring on 4 minutes after a wonderful bit of football from Celtic, led to Kyogo finding himself at the right angle of the 6-yard area and knocking it home into the far corner. Antoine Griezmann equalising though 21 minutes later after Molina was tripped by Taylor. Griezmann took the penalty. Hart got fingertips to it, came bouncing off the post, and it fell fortuitously back to Griezmann, who knocked home the rebound into the bottom left corner of the net to make it 1 apiece. It was only 1-1 for 4 minutes though. Celtic had their lead back through Luis Palma. Again, great build-up play. Greg Taylor's ball is one of the passes of the season. He clipped it over the Atletico defence into the path of Maida, who crossed for Palma, who took a touch and rifled it home, just like Kyogo, right angle the 6-yard area into the far left corner to restore the advantage. And Celtic deserved that lead at half-time. Simeone tweaked it at the break though. He brought on Marcus Llorente. He in particular had a big say, and he carved out the equaliser for the visitors with his wonderful cross, headed home by Alvaro Morata, who made it 2 apiece. That's where the scoring ended. The drama didn't end there. Rodrigo de Paul was sent off for a second yellow. Celtic playing the last more than 10 minutes, including stoppage time, against 10 men, but they could not make the breakthrough. They didn't have too many opportunities to score, in all truth. A really good, encouraging performance. Really positive night for Celtic, by and large. Yes, they wanted to win. Yes, they'll more than likely now, if they want to get into the last 16, need to win in Madrid in a couple of weeks' time. At least a point will be required there, even potentially to finish third in this section and play European football in the spring. But it is that long-awaited victory they wanted, and it's evaded them again here, despite all the positives. At least they're off the mark They remain rooted to the foot of Champions League Group E after 3 winless match days. Finished here, Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 2.